Chapter 53. There were tens of thousands of defensive formations, but with Tang Zhang's current strength, he could only use the simplest defensive formation, which was to inject his true qi into the jade stone. When attacked, the formation would automatically activate and his true qi would attack, thus achieving the effect of a defensive formation. Under the night sky, Tang Zhang's fingers moved and a complex array was engraved into the jade artifact. Then, he immediately activated his martial arts and poured his true qi into the jade artifact. The jade artifact emitted a white luster, and then in a flash, disappeared into the jade artifact. Tang Zhang let out a long breath. This seemingly simple process consumed most of his true qi. This engraving formation is really not an easy task. He could not help but sigh. Of course, if it was easy, then there would not be so many mediocre people in this world. Tian Chanzi said, with your skills, you can only engrave one formation per night, so these 4 gifts will take you 4 nights. After you finish this, you can cultivate your true qi and then try to refine pills. What you need the most right now is the spirit pill. It can gather the spiritual energy of heaven and earth for your own use and quickly increase your cultivation. He had already bought the 9 revolving pill furnace, so refining pills was not a difficult task. He turned his head and looked at the 9 revolving pill furnace in a wooden box in the corner, and could not help but feel a little excited. After the holidays, he went to class during the day and engraved formations at night. 3 days later, the formations of the 4 jade artifacts were all completed. Sure, this jade Buddha is for you. In the small forest on campus, Tang Zhang and Fang Shishir were enjoying a sweet couple's world. Fang Shishir looked at the jade Buddha in her hand in surprise filling her heart. You're giving me a gift? Of course, remember to bring it with you. When I'm not by your side, it will replace me to accompany you. Tang Zhang said. Fang Shishir nodded and said, Tang Zhang, you're really too good. Saying this, she threw herself into his embrace, raised her head, and gently kissed him on the cheek. Tang Zhang's heart seemed to melt as he hugged her tightly. I'll definitely take it with me. I'll take it to class, eat, and sleep with it, just like you're always with me. Fang Shishir's lips curled up as she said sweetly. I suddenly realized that you've grown taller. Suddenly, Fang Shishir pointed at their heads and said curiously. Tang Zhang was stunned for a moment. He was originally only 1.7 meters tall, and Fang Shishir was 1.65 meters tall. There was not much difference, but now he was half a head taller than her. He was at least 1.75 meters tall. Could this also be due to the cultivation of the ancient clear heaven scroll? Yes, this was the benefit of cultivation. His body had been cleansed, and his bones had been tempered. His growth rate had increased, and his height had naturally increased. Don't you like it when I grow taller? Of course I do. The 2 people returned to the classroom hand in hand. Tang Zhang had just sat down when Yi Dingdang could not help but glance at him. She knew that he must have gone to meet with Fang Shishir. Yi Dingdang, I'll give you a present. Tang Zhang took out the jade Buddha that he had prepared. You're giving me a present? Yi Dingdang's eyes widened in astonishment. Tang Zhang nodded and said, yes, don't look down on it. It's not anything valuable. It's just a token of my sincerity. Boss, don't be modest. This jade Buddha is worth $60,000. How could it be worthless? Feng Yong came up and volunteered, and said without stopping. $60,000. Yi Dingdang exclaimed, I can't accept such a valuable gift. She was very clear about Tang Zhang's family. $60,000 was definitely not a small amount. Moreover, one should not accept a reward without doing any work. If I tell you to take it, then take it. Tang Zhang put the jade Buddha into her hands without any hesitation. Feng Yong also persuaded, that's right. This is boss sincerity. Look, I also have one, he said as he took out the safety bracelet around his neck. Tang Zhang looked at Tang Zheng suspiciously. Just what did he want to do? Give her such a valuable gift. Moreover, it was more than one. I heard that jade can protect one's safety. Didn't you encounter danger last time? So I bought one for you. Tang Zheng explained. Jade can protect one's safety. Yi Dingdang did not know whether to laugh or cry. If jade really had such a function, then wouldn't it be crazily fought over? She looked at him with shining eyes, not knowing what he was planning. What are you being so fussy about? Just remember to always wear it. Tang Zheng did not want to be long-winded with her and directly reminded her. The bell for class rang and Lu Qingmei walked in. Yi Dingdang did not have the chance to refuse and could only resentfully put away the jade Buddha. Lu Qingmei's face was not good. There was a trace of anger between her eyebrows as she said, "The results of this mock exam are out. Most of the students in our class have improved. Congratulations to everyone." Everyone was beaming with joy and secretly clenched their fists. This period of hard work was not in vain. I want to praise student Feng Yong. He has improved the most. Feng Yong excitedly stood up and said, "This is the result of the teacher's teaching. In addition, it is also inseparable from my boss Tang Zhang's detailed review plan. Otherwise, it would be impossible for me to improve so quickly." Everyone's gaze swept towards Tang Zhang. So Feng Yong's improvement was also due to him. They did not know how his results were this time. Many people had this thought but were too embarrassed to ask. However, there was one person who asked, Takashi. This was because he already knew about Tang Zhang's results from a reliable source, so he deliberately wanted to humiliate him. Tang Zhang had humiliated him many times. He was not Tang Zhang's opponent, so this time he wanted to openly humiliate Tang Zhang. "Teacher Liu, since Feng Yong praised Tang Zhang so much, I wonder how his results were this time. He must have once again gotten first place in the school." Takashi said with a smile that did not reach his eyes. "That's right. Teacher Liu, how were Tang Zhang's results this time?" The others also curiously asked. Lu Qingmei's face became even more gloomy. She looked at Tang Zhang with disappointment and saw that his expression was normal, as if nothing had happened. She could not help but secretly sigh. She changed the topic and said, "Okay, now let's begin the explanation of this time's exam." Seeing Lu Qingmei change the topic, many people already understood that Tang Zhang's results were not ideal. They could not help but look at him with pity. It seems that there was no hope for him to rise again. Takashi saw that his goal was not achieved and unwillingly said, "Teacher Liu, why didn't you mention Tang Zhang's results? Him getting first place in the school is the pride of our class and can encourage everyone to improve." Tang Zhang looked at Takashi with ridicule. How could he not understand his sinister intentions? However, how could this kind of thing affect him? Looking at his proud appearance was like looking at a clown. Although student Tang Zhang's results did not improve, I believe that he will continue to work hard. Lu Qingmei vaguely said. So he is still in last place. The other students have improved but he is still in last place. Hey, this really is an eye-opener. Takashi loudly laughed. He proudly glanced at Tang Zhang. He thought that he would see Tang Zhang fly into a rage. However, he discovered that Tang Zhang was calm and collected. His heart was startled as he suddenly felt a sense of powerlessness. It was as if he used all his strength to hit the air. "Stop talking!" Lu Qingmei suddenly shouted and began to explain the questions. "Tang Zhang, you don't seem to have any thoughts about your results." Yi Dingdang curiously asked. "What thoughts do I have about being in last place? Don't tell me I have to give an award speech." Tang Zhang said self-deprecatingly. "Your martial arts are so powerful. How could you be in last place? Yi Dingdang was puzzled. If she had not met Tang Jing before, she would not have doubted that he was in last place. However, the more she interacted with Tang Jing, the more she felt that he was not ordinary. For such an extraordinary person to be in last place, even if she was beaten to death, she would not believe it. My head was injured and my memory is not good. Don't you know? You can even open up my dad's meridians. Don't tell me you can't heal your own injuries. Tang Jing smiled and did not explain further. He said, "Who knows, maybe one day I will be enlightened again." After class, Lu Qingmei came in front of Tang Jing. She knocked on his desk and seriously said, "Tang Jing, come with me to the office." After the two figures disappeared from the office, the classroom was filled with discussion. Takashi said, "Tang Jing is dragging us down again. This is an insult to our class." Feng Yong angrily stood up and said, Takashi, no one will treat you as a mute if you don't speak." "Ha, last place little brother, what I say is none of your business. Boss's wisdom is not something you can compare to." "Yeah, he is too powerful. I really can't compare to the last place in wisdom." "Ha! Shut up." Yi Dingdang suddenly shouted loudly, causing Gao Daji to shut his mouth in dissatisfaction, and secretly hatefully said, "Even the last place has so many people protecting him, what the f***ck?" In the office, Lu Qingmei sighed and said, "Tang Jing, your results this time are very bad. Do you know that?" Tang Jing did not say a word. "I know that you have been distracted by your grandfather's matter. But this is not an excuse. The other students have all improved, but you are the only one who has not made any progress. Moreover, this kind of influence is not good. The school has already made a decision regarding your problem." "What decision?" "Tang Jing, I really don't want to see this kind of situation happen. I have also fought for it with the school, but..." Lu Qingmei shook her head in regret. "Are they going to expel me?" Tang Jing suspiciously asked. "They want you to make up for the 3 years of tuition. Otherwise, they will expel you." Lu Qingmei said that Pingqing International School's tuition was very expensive. The tuition for 3 years was close to 100,000 yuan. For Tang Zhang's family, this was an astronomical figure. "Make up for the tuition, otherwise they will expel me." "Yes, this is the school's decision. If you have any difficulties, I still have some money here. You can borrow some from your relatives to make up for the tuition. Then take advantage of the next 2 months to work hard and see if you can improve your grades." Improve his grades. "Ah, Lu Qingmei, you really have a lot of confidence in him." Suddenly, Wu Zuihong's ear-piercing laughter rang out. Chapter 54. Wu Zuihong's sarcasm caused Lu Qingmei to frown and say, "Teacher Wu, don't go too far. Don't think that I don't know that this time it was you who played tricks behind the scenes. If it wasn't for you repeatedly making requests to the school, would the school make such a decision on Tang Jing?" Wu Zuihong coldly laughed and said, "I am doing this for the school's benefit. Is there a problem? Is there a need for you to target Tang Jing like this? Am I targeting him? What I said is the truth. He is dead last and the school's resources are wasted on him." Wu Zuihong disdainfully said. "The school's responsibility is to educate and not to give up on any student. Even if you want to educate, the other party must be a promising talent. Tang Zhang is such a useless person, letting him take the college entrance exam is an insult to the college entrance exam." Tang Zhang indifferently looked at Wu Zuihong and said, "Old witch, you said that me taking the college entrance exam is an insult to the college entrance exam. Then what is not an insult to the college entrance exam?" Lu Qingmei looked at Tang Zhang in astonishment. She did not think that after receiving such unbearable treatment, he could still be so calm. "Of course it is to get good grades and enter a good university." "Then what are your so-called good grades?" Ha, ha, in any case it won't be your dead last result. If I wasn't dead last in the college entrance exam, what would you say? If you weren't dead last, then what's the difference between dead last and dead last? Wu Zuehong ridiculed. Then what about being first in the school? First in the school, so you are this arrogant. Do you want to be first in the school? If you are able to get first in the school, then You what? I will admit that I have eyes but cannot see and am not fit to be a teacher. Good. If I am able to get first in the school, then you will be kicked out of the teaching team because you are not fit to be a teacher. I promise you, but you won't have the chance. Wu Zuehong was full of confidence and complacency. But if you don't get first place in the school, I want you to kowtow to me in front of all the teachers and students. With so many teachers as witnesses today, I believe that you won't go back on your word. Let's wait and see. We'll see after the college entrance exam. Tang Zheng gave a strange smile. This smile made Wu Zuehong startled, and an uneasy feeling rose in her heart for no reason. Why would I have such an absurd feeling? He's just a useless person. Maybe he'll make some progress, but how can he be the first in school? That's impossible. Moreover, he has to collect more than 100,000 yuan in tuition fees within a week to not be expelled. Otherwise, he won't even be able to take part in the college entrance exam, so how can he be the first? With his family's situation, 100,000 yuan was simply an astronomical figure. Even if he sold everything in his family, it wouldn't be worth that much money. So, I definitely won. Tang Zheng, you've gone against me so many times. Just wait until you kowtow to me and admit your wrongs, Wu Zuehong proudly thought. Lu Qingmei didn't even have time to interject before the two agreed on this bet. Lu Qingmei secretly sighed. Tang Zheng was too young and impetuous. How could he recklessly bet on this kind of thing? Tang Zheng, you're really too impatient. I'll privately go find Teacher Wu and see if he can cancel this bet. Lu Qingmei obviously didn't want to see Tang Zheng be humiliated in the future. Teacher Lu, there's no need. Don't tell me you don't believe in me. Tang Zheng winked at her. Lu Qingmei was startled. From Tang Zheng's eyes, she saw a strong self-confidence. It was as if the school's first place was within his reach. Lu Qingmei shook her head. This was definitely an illusion. She firmly said, Tang Zheng, this isn't a child's play. Since you don't want to cancel the bet, then I, as a teacher, will do my part. From today onwards, after school, I'll give you extra lessons. Extra lessons. Teacher Lu, there's no need. Of course. I've said before that I won't give up on any student. You are my student, so of course I won't give up on you. But Tang Zheng, I still want to make it clear to you. These 2 months will be very hard on you, but you will reap the rewards of your hard work. So persevere. Lu Qingmei encouraged. Tang Zheng bitterly smiled. His time was already tight and he didn't expect that she would take up a portion of it. But he also couldn't refuse her good intentions. Wait for me after school. I'll take you to my home for extra lessons. Home. Of course it's home. If you take extra lessons at school and the other students see that I'm giving you special treatment, they will definitely complain. Oh, I got it. Tang Zheng dejectedly walked out of the office. Tian Chanzi's voice suddenly sounded, Little brat, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Now that your skills have advanced by leaps and bounds, you need even more purine energy to balance your body. Also, you don't have any plans to eat that girl Fang Shishir. So, spend more time with Lu Qingmei and absorb her purine energy. It will be very beneficial for you. Lu Qingmei had a mysterious yin body. The pure yin energy in her body was much richer than Fang Shishir's and Yidingdang's. It was also much more beneficial for Tang Zheng. Tian Chanzi, how can your thoughts be so dirty? How are you like an expert cultivator? Tang Jing didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How is my thoughts dirty? I'm doing this for your sake, okay? Humph, a dog biting Lu Dongbin, you don't recognize my good intentions. Anyway, I'm telling you, you can't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You must absorb more of her purine energy. If you can have some physical contact with her, that would be even better. Tian Chanzi wouldn't let go of any opportunity to make Tang Jing stronger. I've spent all my money. What should I do about the 100,000 or so yuan tuition? Tang Jing didn't expect that he would have to worry about money so soon. If he hadn't been so extravagant in the ordinary balance courtyard a few days ago, the tuition wouldn't have been a problem at all. Forget it, I can't think of a good way at the moment. Anyway, there's still a week. If there's really no way in the end, I'll just go to the ordinary balance courtyard's casino and win another 100,000. This is a small amount, so it shouldn't arouse suspicion. Tang Jing returned to the classroom. Everyone looked at him with a complicated expression. Most of them were pity and sympathy. Boss, with your level, how can you only get such a small score? There must be a problem with the grading teacher. Let's go check the papers. Feng Yong said indignantly. Feng Yong, there's no problem. I only got such a small score. Feng Yong was dumbstruck. Only after a while did he say, how is that possible? Nothing is impossible. Then what did Teacher Lu call you for? She said she wanted to tutor me. F***ck, that's too good. She's going to tutor you alone. Feng Yong's eyes lit up. He couldn't believe it and was endlessly envious. Tang Jing nodded his head and said, keep your voice down. Don't make this kind of thing public. Right, don't make it public. Feng Yong had a tacit understanding expression. Boss, I finally know why you only got such a small score. So it turns out you were planning far ahead. Did you already know that if your score was low, Teacher Lu would tutor you alone? This plan is too ingenious. How come I didn't think of it? Tang Jing was dumbstruck. He didn't think that Feng Yong would think this way. Feng Yong prostrated himself in admiration. He continued to talk non-stop. Boss, actually everyone wants to interact with Teacher Lu more. After all, she is a super beauty. Her temperament and her beauty can make people's hearts surge. Hey, this time boss, you're in luck. Feng Yong, I really didn't think that way. Tang Jing helplessly explained. Denying it is useless. Everyone is well aware of it. There's no need to explain. Feng Yong laughed. Yi Dingdang finally couldn't bear it anymore and turned her head. She coldly stared at the two and said, why are you guys' heads filled with such messy and dirty thoughts? I'm not. Tang Jing hurriedly denied. Yi Dingdang gave a, you're so gullible, expression which made Tang Jing speechless. Sister Dingdang, food and sex are part of human nature. This is human nature. Do you understand? Feng Yong said as if he didn't feel ashamed. Instead, he felt proud. Hang, it's more like the nature of a pervert. After school, Tang Jing told Feng Shishir about the tutoring. Feng Shishir was very happy. Even though she knew that Tang Jing was already very strong, but with the teacher's tutoring, it would be better. Only then would the college entrance exam be more secure. The school quieted down. Tang Jing stood alone in front of the school building when a mini stopped beside him. Get in. Lu Qingmei shouted. Lu Qingmei drove very quietly. She didn't like to talk, unlike Feng Xinyang who chattered non-stop. You haven't eaten dinner yet? No. What do you want to eat? Anything. I'm not picky. Buying groceries to cook is too much of a waste of time. Let's buy some fast food to bring back. Lu Qingmei stopped the car in front of a KFC and got out. Not long after, she carried a bag and walked out. Finally, the Mini stopped in the underground garage of a high-end apartment. Even though Tang Jing didn't know much about housing prices, after all, he had been in ordinary balance for so many years. He had some understanding of the ordinary balance. Lu Qingmei lived in a neighborhood that was definitely not cheap. It seemed like her family was quite good. I live alone, so my house is a bit messy. I hope you don't mind. Before entering the door, Lu Qingmei said shyly for the first time. Seeing her bashful appearance, Tang Jing couldn't help but stare blankly. In his heart, he thought that she was really charming. An ice beauty occasionally revealing a bashful appearance was simply a great killer. Teacher Lu is too modest. You're so beautiful, so your house definitely won't be messy. Tang Jing said. But when the door opened, Tang Jing realized that his words were too early. Her house was really messy. However, her house was only messy and not dirty. The floor was very clean, but things were scattered everywhere, making it look very messy. Lu Qingmei embarrassedly said, "Sit down, I'll tidy up a bit." After speaking, she hurriedly tidied up. Teacher Lu, do you need my help? No need. You can just sit down. Tang Jing sat on the sofa and watched her rush around the room. He couldn't help but sigh, so a woman's private space is like this. I wonder if Shishi's room is also this messy. While thinking, he sized up the room. This was a 2-bedroom apartment. The decorations were very warm and had a feminine charm. Tang Jing, can you stand up? Suddenly, Lu Qingmei said to Tang Jing with a red face. Her eyes were fixed on where Tang Jing was sitting. Chapter 55. The atmosphere instantly became awkward, and there was even a trace of ambiguity. Both of them were silent. This was the first time Tang Jing saw a woman's underwear at such a close distance. His face immediately turned red. The black underwear quickly enlarged and jumped into his eyes and finally jumped into his heart. Lu Qingmei wished she could find a hole to hide in. She was used to living alone, so she was used to leaving her clothes in a mess. Moreover, no one came to her house, so it wasn't a problem. However, today Tang Jing came and thus such an awkward situation occurred. Although Lu Qingmei was used to leaving her things in a mess, her memory was very good. She just finished tidying up her things and realized that she was missing a pair of underwear. Only then did she remember that she took it from the balcony and threw it on the sofa. That was why she asked Tang Jing to stand up. She didn't expect that he would really sit on it. Seeing her bewildered appearance, Tang Jing mysteriously picked up the underwear and asked, Teacher Lu, are you looking for this? God, he actually used his hand to pick up her underwear. That was her most private thing. Moreover, he touched the most private part of her body. She felt a strange feeling in her body. Lu Qingmei snatched the underwear and flew into the bedroom. Tang Jing could even hear her breathing become hurried. Seeing her slightly embarrassed appearance, Tang Jing couldn't help but laugh. So the ice goddess also had this side. If other people knew that I saw Teacher Lu's underwear, I wonder what they would think. However, the black underwear is really sexy. Moreover, it has lace. I wonder if she wears it. Tang Jing didn't dare to continue thinking. As a virgin, this kind of scene was too stimulating. He could already feel his body having a reaction. A small tent was set up below. Cough cough. Lu Qingmei walked out again. Her face was still a bit red. Suddenly, her gaze was fixed on Tang Jing's lower body. It was as if she was paralyzed. He actually had a reaction. Damn it. Tang Jing realized his embarrassment and hurriedly sat down, finally covering up his ugly appearance. He's still a child after all. He's young and impetuous. I'll forgive him this time. Lu Qingmei took a deep breath and tried to control herself. Let's eat first, then we'll start tutoring. Lu Qingmei's attitude was much colder. She hoped to use this coldness to cover up the awkwardness just now. Tang Zheng used his inner energy to suppress his restless thoughts. The two of them had a simple dinner together and then began to make up for the missed lessons. Lu Qingmei was an English teacher. At first, Tang Zheng thought that she was only good at English. But when she started tutoring, he realized that he had underestimated her. Chinese, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology, she was proficient in all of them. She was even more lively and interesting than many of the teachers in this class. She must have been a top student back then, Tang Zheng guessed. But why did she want to be a teacher? Logically speaking, she's so good at studying and has a good family background. She could have done other jobs. Tang Zheng suppressed his curiosity. This was someone else's secret. He didn't have the right to ask. He didn't know that Lu Qingmei gradually had a lot of questions about him. Although Tang Zheng tried his best to hide his strength, he couldn't completely hide it. Lu Qingmei gradually realized that he was actually very smart. He didn't look like someone who got last place in the exam at all. I heard that his memory is getting worse, and he gets a headache when he thinks about problems. But why doesn't he have a headache when he's thinking about problems? Could it be, he's deliberately hiding his strength? She was shocked by her own speculation. But why would he hide his strength? Don't all students want to get good grades? She realized that she didn't know Tang Zheng as well as she thought. He seemed to have a mysterious aura and a temperament. Although he had the inexperience of people his age, he had a calming feeling that made people involuntarily want to get close to him. Why do I have this kind of feeling? She was startled. Now that Tang Zheng had stepped into the third grade refining qi, his entire aura had undergone an earth-shattering change. Unknowingly, he had reached a state of harmony with the world around him. This naturally affected the people around him, causing them to feel a sense of tranquility. Okay, today's tutoring will end here. Go back and properly digest what you've learned today. I'll send you back. No need. This place isn't far from my home. I can walk back myself. Okay then. Go back and rest well. After sending off Tang Zheng, Lu Qingmei leaned against the door. She breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Today I was looking for trouble for myself. I hope he doesn't tell anyone about what happened today. Otherwise, I'll be embarrassed. If he dares to tell anyone, see how I'll deal with him. Tonight I must properly tidy up my room. In the future, I can't let today's problems happen again. Otherwise, my reputation will be ruined." When Tang Zheng returned home, his grandfather was very happy. This was because the teacher actually gave Tang Zheng tutoring. He believed that this was the teacher's love for Tang Zheng. He repeatedly urged him to study hard and not let down the teacher's painstaking efforts. First grade true fire is the dividing line between ordinary fire and true fire. Only true fire can refine pills. Of course, when true fire is cultivated to a certain level, it can also be used to defend against enemies. Everyone has a fire seed in their body. However, most people don't know the method to ignite the fire seed. I will now teach you the method to ignite the fire seed. Tian Chanzi passed on a mnemonic chant. Tang Zheng silently memorized it. According to the mnemonic chant, he guided his true qi to his dantian. His dantian suddenly became warm, just like a furnace. The fire seed is hidden in your dantian. It has no shadow and is invisible to the naked eye. However, it is there. Only when you ignite the fire seed will you be able to see a small ball of flame. The true qi in his 9 major meridians gathered in his dantian. Tang Jing felt his body turn into a fireball. It was as if his body was going to burn. You have the 9 yang saint body. Your body has a lot of pure yang energy. Therefore, igniting the fire seed is a small matter. As long as you follow the mnemonic chant, there will be no problem. Tian Chanzi said. Hearing this, Tang Zhang was filled with confidence. After igniting the fire seed and cultivating true fire, he would be able to refine pills. With pills, he would be able to quickly increase his cultivation. The true qi in his dantian quickly flowed and rotated. Soon, it formed a true qi vortex. Your true qi is sufficient. The fire seed will be ignited soon. Ha! What's going on? Tian Chanzi's voice suddenly changed. Where is your true qi? Why did your true qi disappear? He saw the true qi vortex that was rotating at high speed disappear into thin air. It was as if it had never appeared. His dantian became empty, without a trace of true qi. Tang Zhang was also stunned. Didn't Tian Chanzi say that igniting the fire seed would succeed? What is going on? Where did the true qi go? Where is the fire seed? Why can't I see a trace of fire? Tian Chanzi, is this what you meant by success? Tang Jing didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Since he started cultivating, every time he succeeded, it was completely beyond Tian Chanzi's expectations. But this time, Tian Chanzi was full of confidence, but he failed. How can this be? Igniting the fire seed isn't that difficult. How can you fail? You have the 9 yang saint body. Logically speaking, it should be easier for you to ignite the fire seed. Tian Chanzi was also stunned and confused. The true qi in Tang Zhang's body had almost disappeared, and he was not willing to fail like this, so he hurriedly urged his power, allowing the remaining true qi to enter his dantian. Shwa! The true qi was like a clay ox entering the sea, disappearing. This time, even the true qi vortex did not appear. It just disappeared into thin air like a magic trick. Tian Chanzi, quickly tell me, what happened to me? I don't know. You ask me, but who am I supposed to ask? No, this must be because you have the 9 yang saint body. Didn't you say that the 9 yang saint body was very awesome? How can you not do something as simple as this? Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Moreover, the 9 yang saint body has many secrets, so how would I know? Let's try again tomorrow. Who knows? Tian Chanzi stammered. Tang Jing secretly sighed. It seems that there is no way to get an answer from Tian Chanzi. Let's try again tomorrow. The next day, Lu Qingmei walked into the office. Her expression was normal, but her heart was apprehensive. She looked at her classmates from time to time and found that no one was looking at her strangely. Only then did she relax. It seems that Tang Jing did not tell anyone about last night's embarrassing incident. Boss, how was your time with the teacher last night? Hee hee. After class, Feng Yong gossiped. Nothing happened. What do you mean nothing happened? A single man and a single woman in a room. Don't tell me nothing happened? Feng Yong asked expectantly. Tang Jing subconsciously thought of the black underwear. His face was calm as he said, I say, what is your brain thinking all day? She is a teacher and I am a student. What could have happened? It's because they are teacher and student that it's exciting. Isn't it always like this in movies? Scram. I find that you are more and more like an animal. Ring ring ring. Tang Zhang's cell phone rang. It turned out to be Feng Xinyang's number. He looked at Yi Ding Dang in surprise and picked up the phone. Hello, Auntie. Are you looking for me? Little handsome brother, how are you recently? Not bad. Did you miss me? It seems like you didn't miss me. But as long as you miss my family's ding-dang, that's enough. Feng Xinyang generously said, "Little handsome brother, let me tell you a big news." "What news?" "Come to my house for dinner tonight and I will tell you." "Auntie, I have been taking remedial classes recently. I don't have time." Tang Jing could not stand her constantly trying to matchmake him and Yi Dingdang, so he tactfully refused. "You are so smart. Why do you still need remedial classes? Moreover, this matter is much more important than remedial classes. Little handsome brother, you must come. And today I don't have time to pick up Dingdang. You have to escort her home." This. Chapter 56. Feng Xinyang called you? Yi Dingdang asked curiously. Obviously, she heard Feng Xinyang's voice. "Yes, she asked me to go to your house for dinner." "What is she up to now?" "She is your mother." "How would I know?" "She also said that she won't pick you up after school and asked me to go home with you." Yi Dingdang's eyes rolled around. What was wrong with Feng Xinyang? No, she had to figure it out. She had experienced enough of her mother's whims, so she couldn't be at ease until she figured out the other party's intentions. However, when she called, Feng Xinyang directly refused to pick up. Later, when she called again, the other party directly turned off the phone. "Feng Xinyang, if you dare to mess around, I will break up with you." Yi Dingdang gritted her teeth and angrily thought. Taking advantage of the break after class, Tang Zheng went to the office to ask for leave from Lu Qingmei. He couldn't attend tonight's makeup class. Lu Qingmei kindly agreed. Tang Zheng didn't know that last night's thrilling makeup class made Lu Qingmei's heart not completely calm down. Tang Zheng's proposal was exactly what she wanted. After school, Tang Zheng and Yi Dingdang took a taxi directly to Yi Dingdang's home. As soon as they entered the door, Tang Zheng noticed that the atmosphere in the Ya family seemed to have changed. Yi Dingdang also noticed. She curiously looked around and finally fixed her eyes on a luxury car in the parking lot. "You have guests." The two walked into the living room and Feng Xinyang hurriedly greeted them. She grabbed Tang Zheng and nervously said, "Little handsome brother, there's an emergency." "What emergency?" Tang Zheng was surprised by her appearance and had a stomach full of questions. "Feng Xinyang, are you crazy again?" "You're the crazy one. You have no respect for your elders." "I am your mother." "You don't look like a mother at all." Yi Dingdang speechlessly said. Feng Xinyang didn't have time to continue bickering with Yi Dingdang and mysteriously said, "Little handsome brother, this is related to your and Dingdang's lifelong happiness. Don't you think it's an emergency?" Tang Zheng found that the other party was talking more and more nonsense. He couldn't help but bitterly smile and said, "Auntie, just say it. Why did you call me here in such a hurry? Didn't I say that this is related to your and Dingdang's lifelong happiness? Someone came to our house to propose marriage." "Propose?" Tang Zheng and Yi Dingdang coincidentally. "Yes, this is a sudden attack. I also didn't expect it. But don't worry, I will definitely not agree to this matter." "Ma, I am only 18 years old, what kind of marriage are you talking about? Is this something that you caused?" Yi Dingdang said in a flustered and exasperated manner. Regarding Feng Xinyang's ability to cause trouble, she was extremely clear. "How can you be so suspicious of your mother? I've already chosen a little handsome brother. How could I introduce you to someone else?" This time the proposal was arranged by the old man. Feng Xinyang said somewhat helplessly. The fearless Feng Xinyang seemed to be in awe of this old man. "Grandfather." Yi Dingdang was speechless. Feng Xinyang helplessly nodded. "No, my happiness is my decision." He is my grandfather, so he can't interfere with my private matters. Yi Dingdang resolutely said. Moreover, after so many years, has he ever cared about me? Now he suddenly ran out to arrange a blind date for me. Is there a grandfather like him? Feng Xinyang rubbed Yi Dingdang's head and said, Dingdang, don't worry. I will do my best to fight for you. My daughter is so beautiful and obedient. How can I let other people take advantage of her? Auntie, this has nothing to do with me, right? How can this have nothing to do with you? Dingdang is about to be snatched away by someone else. Can you just sit there and watch? I don't like what you're saying. Don't do it again. You're not allowed to say such things again. Now there is a way to resolve this situation. Do you want to hear it? Feng Xinyang asked with a smile. Tang Zheng was startled. From Feng Xinyang's smiling eyes, he had a bad premonition. What way? Yi Dingdang impatiently asked. What's done cannot be undone. What do you mean? If you are already engaged, do you think the old man will still have a way to arrange a marriage proposal? Feng Xinyang mysteriously smiled. Yi Dingdang subconsciously shook her head and then blankly said, but the key point is that I am not engaged. This is our family matter. If we say there is, then there is. That's still not right. Where are you going to find someone to be engaged to me? Hey, far away on the horizon, but close in front of you. Little handsome brother, don't you have a ready-made candidate? Feng Xinyang's gaze fell on Tang Zheng. No. Tang Zheng loudly shouted. Yi Dingdang was dumbstruck. She never thought that Feng Xinyang would want Tang Zheng to be the scapegoat. No, why did he refuse so quickly? It's as if I'm ugly. She hatefully glared at Tang Zheng and asked, Tang Zheng, I haven't even said no. Why are you speaking so quickly? This method is simply not feasible. I am someone who has a girlfriend. You can break up with a girlfriend. This is an engagement. A fiancé is a level higher than a girlfriend. Feng Xinyang said. Hang, I didn't say that I was really engaged to you. It was just an act. Yi Dingdang indignantly said. But this. No buts. It's settled. Little handsome brother, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I don't mind making the act real. Feng Xinyang said with an evil smile. Tang Zheng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How could she push her daughter away like this? Was Yi Dingdang really her biological daughter? Tang Zheng, you have to agree to this matter whether you want to or not. Yi Dingdang weighed the pros and cons and decisively said. What if I don't agree? Hang, you dare. Little handsome brother, Jianghu is in an emergency. You have to have a chivalrous spirit. Feng Xinyang said. Tang Zheng shook his head. This kind of thing could only be done by this unreliable mother and daughter pair. However, just pretending to be a fiancé shouldn't be difficult. The study door suddenly opened and Yi Tianlei walked out with an old man and a young man. Nephew, although ordinary balance can't compare to Beijing, it still has its own beautiful scenery. You can play here for a few more days. Yi Tianlei said. Many thanks for uncle's concern. This time I will definitely stay for a few more days. This is also my father's intention. Dingdang, you're out of school. Quickly come and greet the guests. Yi Tianlei suddenly waved at Yi Dingdang and said. Yi Dingdang suspiciously sized up the guests. This old man and young man were definitely not ordinary people. Their temperaments were extraordinary, especially the old man who gave people a feeling of showing off. He was like an unsheathed sword, making people not dare to look at him directly. Little Tang, you also came. Come, let me introduce you to a few guests. Yi Tianlei also saw Tang Zheng. His heart slightly moved, and he glanced at Feng Xinyang. Feng Xinyang winked at him. It's them. Tang Jing didn't expect to see Song Yu and that Qin Lao at the Ya family. The one who came to propose marriage is Song Yu. Song Yu's gaze swept past Yi Dingdong's face and finally landed on Tang Zhang's face. He was slightly startled and couldn't hide his surprise. Qin Lao also looked at Tang Jing in surprise. He suddenly remembered that Song Yu had said that he had a premonition that he would see Tang Jing again. He didn't expect to meet him so soon. This world was too small. But then the two immediately remembered Tang Zhang's identity. He came from an ordinary family, so how could he have any relationship with the Ya family? Moreover, it seemed that they were very close. Tang Jing, we meet again. Song Yu smiled and extended his hand. Yes, this world is too small. Tang Jing said as he shook his hand. You know each other. Yi Tianlei and Feng Xinyang were both shocked. They were most clear about Song Yu's identity. How could Tang Jing have any relationship with him? We met a few days ago at Ordinary Balance's residence. Song Yu explained. Yi Tianlei and his wife suddenly understood. This must be Dingdong's younger sister. As expected, her beauty is unparalleled. Song Yu said to Yi Dingdang. Yi Dingdang snorted and said, Who's your younger sister? Don't call me that. Dingdang, don't be rude. Yi Tianlei's face darkened as he scolded. Yi Dingdang pouted in a fit of pique. Song Yu said, Uncle, you can't blame Dingdang. I was rude. This is the first time I've met Dingdang. I really shouldn't have called her that. Dingdang, how are you? Let me introduce myself. My name is Song Yu. Our Song and Yi families have been friends for generations. You weren't in Beijing, so we haven't met before. But there will be many opportunities to meet in the future. I still don't know you. Yi Dingdong's tone was still as cold as ever. Song Yu was not angry and said in a lukewarm voice, Don't we know each other now? Dingdang, don't be rude. Yi Tianlei warned. He was afraid that Yi Dingdang would throw a tantrum again. Song Yu was not like other people. If she threw a tantrum with him, the gains would not make up for the losses. Yi Tianlei looked deeply at Song Yu and couldn't help but sigh. The successor that the Song family nurtured was indeed extraordinary. Although she was only in her 20s, her calm personality was not something that an ordinary person could compare to. With this kind of successor, the Song family would not have to worry about continuing to prosper. No wonder the old man arranged this marriage. Yi Tianlei knew that the old man's health was not what it used to be. He must find a strong ally for the Ya family. Marriage was undoubtedly a powerful method. But when Yi Tianlei saw Tang Jing, he suddenly realized that his wife was using her actions to express her opposition. She did not approve of this marriage. Although Tang Jing is a variable, if the old man is determined to settle this marriage, what other people can do to resist? Yi Tianlei thought helplessly. As a member of the Ya family, he was very clear about the old man's temper and strength. No one in the Ya family could resist the old man. Dad, if there's nothing else, I'll go back to my room with Tang Jing first. Yi Dingdang suddenly intimately held on to Tang Zhang's arm like a couple glued to each other. You. Yi Tianlei opened his eyes wide. It seemed that things were more complicated than he thought. Chapter 57. Feng Xinyang stood in front of Tang Jing, blocking his gaze that was as sharp as a sword. Qin Lao was slightly startled and anger appeared between his brows. Song Yu smiled lightly and asked, Tang Jing, are you friends with Dingdang? He is my fiancé. Yi Dingdang raised her head as if to declare her sovereignty. Tang Jing smiled bitterly to himself. Yi Dingdang had entered the role too quickly. He was definitely going to be the shield, but he didn't dislike it. He had a good relationship with the Ya family. Moreover, he didn't have a good impression of this kind of matchmaking. He didn't mind helping Yi Dingdang this once. However, he admired Song Yu's reaction. Even a blind person could see that he had a good relationship with Yi Dingdang, but Song Yu asked if they were friends. Yi Dingdang was also domineering. She directly lied and said that Tang Zheng was her fiancé. In an instant, the hall was so silent that you could hear a pin drop. The atmosphere became subtle. Even Yi Tianlei opened his eyes wide in shock. Obviously, he didn't expect Yi Dingdang to be so fierce. He looked at his wife again and saw a faint smile on her face. He suddenly understood. All of this must be his wife's idea. His wife never acted according to common sense. Only she would dare to do such a shocking thing to go against the will of the old man. This is going to be troublesome. Yi Tianlei was stuck in a dilemma. Fiancé. Song Yu looked at Tang Zheng and Yi Dingdang with a smile that wasn't a smile. Yi Dingdang hugged Tang Zheng's arm even tighter. It was as if she was afraid that Song Yu would notice something. Tang Zheng felt the softness on his arm and couldn't help but glance at her chest. In order to complete the scene, she didn't expect that the two of them would have such intimate physical contact. Tang Zheng, you're so lucky to have such a beautiful fiancé. Song Yu's voice was a little ethereal, so no one could tell what he was feeling. Tang Zheng knew that he couldn't back down now. Since the fake show had already started, he had to act according to the script. Moreover, he had to act more realistically. Therefore, Tang Zheng nodded politely and said, "Thank you. My luck has always been good." "How dare you!" Suddenly, Qin Lao couldn't hold it in any longer and shouted loudly. His voice was like a great bell, and the entire hall was filled with this voice. It was like the rumbling of thunder, causing people to feel dizzy. Yi Tianlei's expression changed slightly. "Qin Lao." Qin Lao coldly snorted. His gaze was like a sword as he looked at Tang Zheng. However, his gaze was blocked by Feng Xinyang. Song Yu was separated by Feng Xinyang so she couldn't clearly see Tang Zheng's reaction. However, an ordinary person would definitely be shaken by this lion's roar. In serious cases, they might even suffer internal injuries. Tang Zheng naturally wasn't injured. Firstly, Feng Xinyang had neutralized most of the lion's roar's power. Secondly, he had the ancient clear heaven scroll to protect his body. "Tang Zheng, we finally meet again. Why don't we have a good chat? I believe we will have a lot to talk about." Song Yu continued. "We're tired. We'll go back to our rooms first." How could Yi Dingdang allow them to be alone? What if Tang Zheng exposed themselves? So, without any explanation, she pulled Tang Zheng into her room. Yi Tianlei couldn't help but secretly shake his head. How did things become like this? He was the only one who could clean up this mess. He forced out a smile and said, "Nephew, Dingdang is too headstrong. Please don't take offense." Song Yu smiled and shook her head. Dingdang is still young. It's normal for her to be headstrong. Who doesn't have headstrong moments? "Uncle, what do you think?" When Yi Tianlei heard this, he didn't know what to say. "Yi Tianlei, what is going on?" Qin Lao couldn't help but ask. "This." Before Yi Tianlei could think of an explanation, Song Yu spoke first. "Uncle, we have just arrived. Can we stay in Uncle's house for a few days?" "This, of course you can." Yi Tianlei hesitated for a moment before agreeing. This was a reasonable request. If he didn't agree, then he would be too unreasonable. Feng Xinyang's gaze changed slightly. She looked at Song Yu thoughtfully. Yi Tianlei ordered people to bring Song Yu and Qin Lao away to rest. "Feng Xinyang, you're too daring. Look at what you've done this time. How are you going to clean up this mess? Yi Tianlei said angrily. I've always been daring. Didn't you know that when you chased me that year? Moreover, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. This is a natural development. Naturally, there will be an outcome. Why would I need to spend energy thinking about how to clean up this mess? Feng Xinyang said without a care. Yi Tianlei shook his head and smiled bitterly. How could it be as simple as you think? How are we going to get past the old man? What about the Song family's face? What does the Song family's face have to do with me? I'm not part of the Song family. As for the old man, he didn't care about us before, but now he's using my daughter's happiness as a bargaining chip in exchange for the family's benefits. Don't say any more. Yi Tianlei's face sank. The old man is the head of the Ya family after all. He's my father. Naturally, he has a lot of things to consider. Yes, he does have a lot of things to consider. When you were forced to leave Jing City, did he consider that he was your father? You know how helpless we were back then. Moreover, he didn't even look at Ding Dang. Now he's going to marry her to someone else. Has he considered our feelings? Has he considered Ding Dong's feelings? Feng Xinyang argued. Yi Tianlei was speechless. He let out a long sigh and said, he doesn't have much time left, so he has no choice but to make these arrangements. What, he doesn't have much time left? Isn't he about to break through to the martial scholar realm? Feng Xinyang turned pale with fright. Yi Tianlei shook his head and said, his last attempt to break through to the martial scholar realm failed and he almost went crazy. That's why he doesn't have much time left. Of all the major families in Jing City, only the Ya family doesn't have a martial scholar expert. If the old man isn't here, then the Ya family. Feng Xinyang didn't continue, but her meaning was clear. Yi Tianlei nodded and said, that's right. That's why the old man chose to marry the Song family, who has always had a good relationship with him. The Ya family doesn't only have Ding Dang as a girl. Isn't there also your elder brother's daughter? You also know that her reputation in Jing City has always been bad. How could the old man let her marry the Song family? Wouldn't that be the opposite of what he wanted? But I heard that the girl was very willing. She even made a big fuss several times because of this matter, but the old man never agreed. In any case, I won't agree to this matter. No matter who it is, I won't give face to. My daughter's happiness is in her own hands. Feng Xinyang still refused to budge an inch. Things have already become like this. How could I not know what you're thinking? But I don't know how to explain it to the old man. Back then, because you were injured and your meridians were blocked, you were judged to be unable to reach the Xiantian realm. Then, you were forced to leave Jing City. A while ago, we thought that since you had already broken through to the Xiantian realm, you could return to Jing City. After all, this was your long-cherished wish. But today, with this matter, I have completely lost interest in returning to Jing City. I feel that ordinary balance is also not bad. In the future, you can peacefully develop in ordinary balance. Yi Tianlei was silent and said, let's first get through this hurdle. In fact, all of this is because the old man doesn't have much time left. If the old man can persist for a few more years, then all of this will be easily resolved. Defying the heavens and changing one's fate. I've heard of this kind of thing, but where can I find someone with this kind of divine ability? Feng Xinyang said with emotion. Song Yu stood up, quietly looking out the window at the tranquil beauty of the Ya family manor under the setting sun. Qin Lao stood behind him and asked puzzledly, young master, why did you stop me from questioning Yi Tianlei just now? Song Yu didn't even turn his head and said, Qin Lao, some things will become passive if they are exposed, do you understand? What do you mean? This old man doesn't understand. When Ding Dang introduced Tang Jing as her fiancé, didn't you see Uncle Ye's expression? What expression did he have? Shocked. Qin Lao's heart trembled, and he said, "Young master, you're saying that he also doesn't know about this matter, so, this is all fake." Most likely. So if we were to insist on pursuing this matter, it would force the other party to confirm this fake marriage and we would become passive. Right now, let's not talk about this matter and stay with the Ya family for a few days. They will naturally reveal some clues and everything will fall apart. Young master is still the most thoughtful, this old man was stupid. Qin Lao said with admiration. Song Yu faintly smiled. Actually many things will be completely different if you take a step forward. Moreover, Tang Zheng is a child of an ordinary family, how could he be related to the Ya family by marriage? But my eyes were not wrong, he is indeed not simple. Perhaps we have seen too much of him on the surface, he must have many things that we don't know about. Young master, do you still need me to investigate him? Song Yu waved his hand and said, no need, since he doesn't want others to know, then he naturally has the corresponding methods. Continuing to investigate will only lead to more false impressions. I trust my own eyes more. As he said this, he pointed to his own eyes, bursting with strong confidence. In Yidingdang's boudoir, Tang Jing couldn't help but look around. Her room was very neat and tidy, without a speck of dust. Presumably, there was someone who tidied and cleaned it every day. The style of the room was more robust than a normal girl's room, especially the words hanging at the head of the bed. It was a large-framed martial character, showing her infatuation with martial arts. You like martial arts that much? Tang Jing asked. Nonsense, of course I like it, my dream is to become a martial scholar. Yidingdang's eyes lit up, as if she could see herself becoming a martial scholar. Then you still have a long way to go. I believe that I can definitely do it. She said confidently. Ding Dang, this time you may not succeed in using me as a shield. That Song Yu is very smart, we may not be able to deceive him. Moreover, he is a very handsome guy, at least much more handsome than me. Have you not considered it? Consider your ass, no matter how handsome he is, I will not consider it. I hate it the most when other people tell me what to do with my life. I have to make my own decisions, not to mention when it comes to marriage, I will not listen to anyone. Chapter 58. Tang Jing stayed with the Ya family. At the dining table, Yi Dingdang deliberately sat next to him and filled his bowl with rice and dishes. She looked like an inseparable little girl. Song Yu talked and laughed freely, as if she didn't see it, or as if he wasn't there to propose at all. Qin Lao, on the other hand, had a gloomy face as usual. He glanced at Tang Jing from time to time, as if he wanted to skin him alive. Tang Jing looked down and ate quietly. However, he was a little overwhelmed by Yidingdang's enthusiasm. There was a saying that it was difficult to erase a beauty's favor. It was indeed not a good thing to have such a grand favor from a beauty. Tang Jing had to admit that this was the most boring meal he had ever eaten. Although there were all kinds of delicacies, the atmosphere at the dining table was too strange. It was tasteless. We're done eating. Let's go back to our room. Yi Dingdang pulled Tang Zhang's hand again and ran to their room. Before entering the door, she said, we're going to rest first. Yi Tianlei and Feng Xinyang already knew that Tang Jing was going to stay over tonight, so they even prepared a room for him. When he suddenly heard Yi Dingdang's last sentence, Yi Tianlei was so shocked that he almost spat out the food in his mouth. Could it be that they were really going to make the act real and let Tang Jing take advantage of it? Feng Xinyang's eyes lit up. She smiled and secretly praised, this wretched girl is finally enlightened. She has to make the first move on such a good resource like the little handsome guy. This is really thanks to my good genes. Tonight, what's done can't be undone. I have to remind them to take safety precautions later. The other two's expressions were also particularly interesting. The veins on Qin Lao's forehead were throbbing. His face was as gloomy as the night outside, as if he could explode at any time. However, Song Yu only twitched the corner of her mouth and didn't have any other reaction. Qin Lao could only restrain himself and take a big gulp of tea to suppress the anger in his heart. In the bedroom, Tang Zheng stared straight at Yi Dingdang and asked, "Are we sleeping in the same room tonight?" "Of course. That's the only way to convince them and make them give up." Yi Dingdang clenched her snow-white teeth, seemingly ready to throw caution to the wind. "But we're a man and a woman alone in a room, don't think too much. Let me tell you, you'll sleep on the floor and I'll sleep on the bed. If you dare to mess around, humph, be careful that I'll castrate you." Yi Dingdang waved her fist and threatened. "You're no match for me. Your threats are useless." Tang Jing smirked. "This is my home. If you dare to do anything bad to me, my parents won't let you get away with it." Yi Dingdang bit her lip. She didn't know whether it was good or bad that she had invited a wolf into her house. "Hee, you were the one who took the initiative to pull me in. I believe that they have also tacitly agreed. You don't even think about it. You can't take advantage of others." "Okay, then I won't take advantage of others. But I have to sleep on the bed and you sleep on the floor. How can that be? Don't you have any gentlemanly spirit?" "I never said that I was a gentleman," Tang Jing roguishly said. "I didn't think that you were this kind of person." "Okay, I promise you. You sleep on the bed and I sleep on the floor." Tang Jing was slightly startled as he didn't think that she would compromise so easily. He originally only wanted to tease her and didn't really want her to sleep on the floor. But now it was hard for him to say anything. It seems that I can only wrong her for one night." Yi Dingdang bitterly glared at him and muttered, "Stingy bastard. You're not a man at all." Tang Jing sat on the bed. A faint fragrance entered his nose and he couldn't help but feel restless. This was a girl's bed. This was his first time on a girl's bed. Moreover, this bed was very soft. It was much more comfortable than his wooden bed. "Hey, what are you thinking about?" "Nothing much. I'm warning you. You're not allowed to think nonsense. I'm going to read for a while. Don't run around." She finished speaking and went to her desk to read. Tang Zheng was bored to death. He simply closed his eyes. In a strange environment with outsiders around, he didn't dare to rashly cultivate. Otherwise, if he was disturbed, he might go crazy. He closed his eyes to rest. He began to recall the knowledge that he had learned in the past 10 years. He found that his thoughts were becoming clearer and clearer. Moreover, his logic was becoming stronger and stronger. A lot of knowledge that seemed difficult to understand in the past could now be understood through a comprehensive study. This is the benefit of cultivation. Not only is the body tempered stronger, but the brain is also deeply developed. The increase in intelligence is obvious. Little brat, a man and a woman alone in a room. This is a great opportunity. Don't waste it. Tian Chanzi was like a ghost, suddenly bursting out a sentence. "Damn, if you don't speak, I won't treat you as a mute. You've always claimed to be a righteous person. Why do I feel that you're becoming more and more evil? Aren't I thinking for your sake? Well, I'm going to find a way to make you unable to speak. Otherwise, if you suddenly burst out a sentence, you'll scare me to death. Hey, when you're strong enough, you can naturally block me. But you're still too weak to do it." "Oh, then what realm do I need to reach to be able to do it?" Tang Zheng's heart moved. "You heard wrong. I won't speak." Tian Chanzi suddenly realized that she had spilled the beans, and immediately became silent. Tang Zheng was speechless, but this reminded him that although he was now used to the existence of Tian Chanzi, if there were some private moments in the future, he didn't want to share with others. Well, I must find a way. Little brat, you're burning the bridge after crossing the river. That's not good enough. Tian Chanzi said. How is this burning the bridge after crossing the river? This is to protect my privacy, you know. It doesn't matter if you don't say it, I'll definitely know. Okay, I'll tell you. As long as you reach the 4th grade refining qi, you can learn sealing techniques. At that time, you can temporarily seal my thoughts. Tian Chanzi helplessly said. Why do I have to be at the 4th grade refining qi to learn sealing techniques? Why can't I learn it now? Tang Zheng said in disbelief. I'm really not lying to you. Do you think sealing techniques are that simple? Sealing techniques can not only seal me, but can also seal a living person, making them unable to speak, or even seal a person's consciousness. Isn't that the same as turning people into wood? In any case, the sealed person is almost the same as a piece of wood. But this also has a time limit. If one's skills are strong enough, they can be sealed for hundreds of years. Dong dong. A knock on the door interrupted the conversation. Feng Xinyang, why are you here? Yi Dingdang opened the door and asked sneakily. Of course I'm here to see you. Daughter, this time you've become smarter. But let me tell you, tonight you must pay attention to your safety. Young people should take it easy. These things are quite useful. Feng Xinyang said mysteriously as she handed over a box of directs. Feng Xinyang, are you looking for death? Why are you giving me these things? Yidingdang's face immediately turned red like an apple, as if she was about to go berserk. Young people really don't understand. This is a safety measure, you know. Quickly take it. There's also Tang Zheng's pajamas. I just had someone go buy it. Just wear it, I won't disturb your good time. Hi hey, daughter, good luck. Feng Xinyang winked meaningfully and then quickly walked away. Yi Dingdang didn't know whether to laugh or cry as she took Tang Zheng's pajamas and a box of directs. She already didn't know what to say. What's your mom doing here? Suddenly, Tang Zheng asked from behind him. She's here to give you pajamas. Auntie is really thoughtful. Give it to me. Tang Zheng took the pajamas. Suddenly, a box of strange things fell to the ground, immediately attracting Tang Zheng's attention. Directs. Tang Zheng immediately recognized it. Yi Dingdang also saw the directs and immediately realized that it fell when she handed him the pajamas. At this time, she wished she could find a hole to hide in. Feng Xinyang, I'm going to kill you. She hysterically roared in her heart. Then, with lightning speed, she stepped on the directs and stammered, You go take a bath and rest. Tang Zheng gave a meaningful smile and went to the bathroom with the pajamas. That smile made Yi Dingdang feel ashamed. He wouldn't think that I have ulterior motives towards him, right? How could that be? In all honesty, all of this was done by Feng Xinyang. Feng Xinyang, under the heavens, is there anyone who would cheat their own daughter like you? Am I still your biological daughter? She wanted to cry but had no tears. Fortunately, Tang Zheng went into the bathroom. He quickly picked up the flattened directs and, like a dead mouse, impatiently threw it into the trash can. Tonight, I must not sleep too soundly. I must be on guard against him. If he really dares to have any bad intentions, humph, I'll castrate him. Hearing the sound of water coming from the bathroom, she immediately realized that he was the first man to use her bathroom. She could not help but hatefully stomp her feet. He really got off easy. Forget it, this is just a temporary measure. First, I'll trick that surnamed Song into leaving and then I'll deal with him. The pajamas your mom sent over are quite fitting. Tang Jing finished washing up and walked out. Yi Dingdang glared at him and said, I'm going to take a bath. You're not allowed to peek. Please, who would peek at you? I was just afraid that you would peek at me. Only a ghost would peek at you. Since you're afraid of peeking, then you don't have to take a bath. After all, you're sleeping on the floor. Tang Jing shrugged and suggested. This is my home. If I want to take a bath, then I'll take a bath. It's none of your business. Yi Dingdang was raised to take a bath before going to bed. If she did not take a bath, she would not be able to sleep. She carefully entered the bathroom and hurriedly took off her clothes. Looking at her exquisite body in the mirror, she couldn't help but secretly exclaim, my body is so beautiful, I must protect it well. I absolutely can't let him take advantage of me. Her body was indeed beautiful. Moreover, it was a very healthy kind of beauty. She had been practicing martial arts since she was a child. Her body was well proportioned and tight. Moreover, there was a vest line. Her body was better than many girls who worked out in the gym. She did not dare to take a long bath like usual. She hurriedly took a bath and then put on her pajamas. Moreover, she specifically wore pajama pants. After making sure that she was not exposed, she walked out of the bathroom. She found that Tang Zheng was already lying on the bed. That look of enjoyment made her want to drag him down and beat him up. Suppressing the anger in her heart, she took out another set of quilts and threw them on the ground. Then, she wrapped herself up like a dumpling. She kept telling herself not to sleep too deeply. Sleepiness came, and in the end, she still fell asleep. Chapter 59. It was daybreak. Tang Jing woke up. Why was there something heavy on his body? He opened his eyes in a daze and saw the white ceiling. Only then did he remember that he was not in his own house, but Yi Dingdang's bedroom. No, Yi Dingdang. He stared at the heavy object on his body. It was a person, Yi Dingdang. Half of her body was on top of him, and her hands were hugging his waist as if she was hugging a stuffed animal. Her head was leaning on his shoulder. Tang Jing turned his head slightly and saw her beautiful face. There was a trace of laziness and a lock of hair covering her white face, making her look a little playful. Tang Jing could even feel her gentle breathing. It was warm and ticklish on his neck. She is so beautiful. Tang Jing let out a silent praise. She was a perfect sleeping beauty, causing others to want to commit a crime. Half of her body was on top of him, and her chest was in intimate contact with Tang Jing. His breathing quickened involuntarily and his body felt like it was going to burn. Suddenly, she made a sound and smacked her cherry lips. She opened her sleepy eyes. Suddenly, her eyes widened and she stared straight at Tang Jing. "Ah!" she screamed. Tang Jing reacted quickly and covered her mouth when she only shouted the first syllable. "Don't scream." Woo, Yi Dingdang kept struggling. Her eyes were about to spit fire. "If you promise me you won't scream, I'll let go," Tang Jing said. Woo, she was still glaring at him fiercely. Her eyes looked like she wanted to eat him alive. "I'll take that as a promise. If I let go, you'll shout and attract other people. You'll be the one to make a fool of yourself." This sentence was indeed effective. Tang Jing loosened his grip. Yi Dingdang took a deep breath and shouted angrily, "You beast." He used grappling hand to restrain Tang Jing. Tang Jing had long anticipated that she would make a move, so he counterattacked at lightning speed. The two of them wrestled together and were tossed around by the waves. Sometimes they would be on top of each other, and sometimes they would be on top of each other. In the end, the two of them were twisted together like fried dough twists. Yi Dingdang was strangling Tang Zheng's neck, while Tang Zheng was grabbing Yi Dingdang's head. "Let go," Yi Dingdang said fiercely. "Put it down first," Tang Zheng replied. "You put it down first. If you release it, I'll release it. Beast, I'll kill you. What right do you have to scold me? You did that to me. If you're not a beast, then what are you? What did I do to you? Speak clearly. Moreover, look clearly. This is a bed. I was the one who slept in the bed last night. It was clearly you who climbed into my bed in the middle of the night and plotted against me," Tang Zheng said. Yi Dingdang suddenly remembered that she had woken up on the bed. Moreover, she had done such intimate actions with him. Could it be that she really did climb into his bed in the middle of the night? No, even if I did it, I can't admit it. Otherwise, I would die of embarrassment. Does waking up on the bed prove that you didn't do anything bad? Maybe you took advantage of me being asleep and carried me to the bed, and then plotted against me," Yi Dingdang righteously said. Tang Zheng was dumbstruck. There was actually such a twisted logic person in this world. "Hang, you have nothing to say." Yi Dingdang was very pleased with herself. Suddenly, her eyebrows knit together and she suspiciously asked, "What are you pointing at me with? You even brought a weapon." "Ah!" Tang Zheng was ashamed. It was early in the morning and he was already in high spirits. After wrestling, the two people's bodies inevitably came into contact with each other, so his body reacted. Yi Dingdang wasn't an idiot. After a while, she realized what it was. She was both ashamed and angry. "Tang Zheng, you beast. I'm going to kill you. Hurry and let go of me." Tang Zheng knew that if this continued, it would only become more and more awkward. He quickly let go of his hand and slid off the bed like a loach, retreating 3 steps back. Yi Dingdang jumped up and like a white crane flapping its wings, she threw herself at him. Tang Zheng's feet slipped, avoiding direct contact with her. Suddenly, the room was filled with a dangerous aura. Dong dong. Feng Xinyang knocked on the door. "Wake up. Eat breakfast and go to school." The two people's movements suddenly stopped. "Hurry and open the door. Don't laze around in bed." "Mom, stop knocking. We're already up. If you're up, then open the door for me," Feng Xinyang said without giving up. Yi Dingdang was helpless. She could only open the door a crack and said, "See, we're really up." Feng Xinyang peeked through the crack in the door and coincidentally saw the messy bed. She immediately understood and smiled. In a low voice, she said, "Eh, you young people don't know how to control yourselves. The bed is so messy, it will take a long time to clean it up." Yi Dingdang's face was red to the neck. She angrily said, "Feng Xinyang, no one will think you're a mute if you don't talk." She slammed the door. "Tang Zheng, it's all your fault." "How is it my fault? It was clearly you who wanted me to act out this show. You even wanted me to stay in the same room as you. Now you're saying it's my fault. You're too unreasonable," Tang Zheng said unhappily. "Tang Zheng, you're not allowed to tell anyone about what happened last night. Otherwise I'll really kill you. Don't worry. I won't tell anyone that someone climbed into my bed last night. In the end, they even framed me." Yi Dingdang angrily stomped her feet. The two people finished washing up, changed their clothes, and walked out of the room. Breakfast was already prepared. It was still early and the others were not up yet. After eating breakfast, Feng Xinyang sent the two to school. Along the way, Feng Xinyang smiled very strangely. From time to time, she meaningfully looked at the two people. She thought that it was good to be young. After a night of torment, they were still energetic during the day. "Little handsome brother, come to our house for dinner tonight. Feng Xinyang invited when they got out of the car. No, he can't come tonight. Yi Dingdang hurriedly said. Why? He has something to do. Yi Dingdang did not want to face Tang Jing again tonight. Who knows what will happen? That would be too easy for him. Tang Jing also did not want to continue. Acting was too tiring. Yes, Auntie. I have something to do tonight. I can't go. Oh, that's a pity. Feng Xinyang regretfully watched the two people walk into the school. No one noticed that someone in the distance was recording this scene with a mobile phone. Today in class, Yi Dingdang was absent-minded. Her mind kept recalling what happened between the two of them last night. He got off too easy. I have to be more careful in the future. Now there are wolves in front and tigers behind. Heavens, why is my Yi Dingdang life so hard? While she was feeling sorry for herself, Tang Jing discovered an amazing harvest. The true qi in his body increased a lot. But he did not practice martial arts last night. That could only be because he absorbed purine energy. Last night, he and Yi Dingdang had close physical contact for almost the entire night. He continuously absorbed purine energy, so his true qi increased so quickly. Boy, now you know that I didn't lie to you. As long as you get a woman, your martial arts will advance by leaps and bounds. Tian Chanzi jumped out again. Tang Jing really wanted to give him a supercilious look. He continued to listen to the class attentively. Although he was confident in the exam, he could not let his guard down. After all, he had a bet with the old witch. If he could not get first place in the school, then the old witch would not honor the bet. After school, Fang Shishir and Tang Jing walked down the school building together. They were whispering to each other. Every time at this time, Tang Jing would feel particularly peaceful. Tang Jing, I want to find an opportunity to invite you to my house for dinner. Is that okay? Fang Shishir asked. Go to your house for dinner. Tang Jing was surprised. Yes, I know that there is a misunderstanding between you and my mother, so I want to resolve this misunderstanding. Fang Shishir said in a delicate and pitiful voice. Tang Jing could not help but think of her mother's words. Looking at her delicate and pitiful appearance, he thought that if he wanted to stand together with her, he would have to go through her mother. It would be best if he could resolve the misunderstanding. No problem, you can set a time and let me know. I will definitely pay you a visit. Fang Shishir smiled like a flower and said, You are so nice. I thought you would object. Am I such a petty person? Of course not. You are the most selfless person in the world. I am not that great. It is just that if you ask me to do something, even if it means climbing a mountain of swords or diving into a sea of fire, I will do my best to do it. Fang Shishir's heart was filled with sweetness. Her face was filled with a happy smile. Beep beep. A car horn sounded behind Tang Jing. Lu Qingmei poked her head out of the window and signaled Tang Jing to get in the car. Then I will go to make up for my lessons. See you tomorrow. Okay, good luck. See you tomorrow. Tang Jing got in the car. Lu Qingmei glanced at Fang Shishir, who was like a lotus in clear water, and coldly said, I do not object to you two dating, but you must put your studies first. Do you understand? Teacher Lu, I understand. It is good that you understand. In the future, if there is nothing special, it is best if you do not miss my lessons. Yes. How is your preparation for school fees coming along? I am still preparing. The whole journey was silent. On the way back, the two bought dinner and then returned home. This time, her house was meticulously cleaned. It was clearly a lot more tidy than the first time. You should rest first. Lu Qingmei entered the bedroom. Not long after, she changed into a set of loose home clothes. It covered her graceful figure and made her seem more approachable. After the two ate dinner, they began to make up for their lessons. After the first run-in, this time it was even smoother. Even though Tang Zheng had already recovered his strength, he still benefited a lot. Tang Zheng, why are your test results so bad? Suddenly, Lu Qingmei stared straight at him. Her eyes seemed to see through his heart. I also do not know. Tang Zheng did not expect her to be so direct. It seems that he was not able to hide his strength from her eyes. Nervous? Tang Zheng bitterly smiled and said, maybe. No, I think you are not nervous at all. Lu Qingmei still remembered his appearance at the police station. He was calm and composed, without a trace of nervousness. How could a person who was not nervous in front of a violent mechanism be nervous in an exam field? Your ability to lie is not good at all. Lu Qingmei coldly said. Chapter 60. Fang Shishir watched as Lu Qingmei's mini drove off into the distance. Just as she was about to walk towards the school gate, she heard someone call her name. Qiao Fei, you called for me. Fang Shishir looked at Qiao Fei, who was hurrying over, and asked. Qiao Fei pretended to be calm and said, yes, I have something to talk to you about. What is it? Let's talk over there. Qiao Fei said as he pointed towards the school gate. Fang Shishir did not suspect anything as she followed him and said, speak, what is it? Qiao Fei had targeted Tang Zheng before, so Fang Shishir did not have a good impression of him. Do you know where Tang Zheng spent the night last night? Qiao Fei asked. Of course it's his home. Home? He told you. If you don't have anything else, then I'll go home first. Fang Shishir did not want to say more. You were tricked by him. He didn't go home last night. He went to Yi Dingdong's house and stayed there the entire night. Seeing that Fang Shishir was about to leave, Qiao Fei impatiently said as he felt a sense of satisfaction from his revenge. Fang Shishir's face instantly changed as she said, don't talk nonsense. Ha, how could I talk nonsense? I have evidence. Look. Qiao Fei opened the photo on his phone. It recorded that yesterday Tang Zheng and Yi Dingdang left together in a car. This morning the two came to school in the same car and acted intimately. Fang Shishir stared at the photo in a daze, her heart in a mess. Could it be that he really went to Yi Dingdang's house to spend the night? Why didn't he tell me? Just what did they do? Most women, when faced with this kind of situation, would inevitably let their imagination run wild and be at a loss for what to do. Fang Shishir, you are wholeheartedly loyal to him. He is lying to you. This kind of person is a big liar. Don't ever trust him again. Qiao Fei saw that the time was right and immediately tried to drive a wedge between them. Fang Shishir looked up at him and said, Qiao Fei, this is between me and him. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do. Why don't you understand? He is not worthy of you. Moreover, he is multitasking. Shishir, you know that I have always liked you. Shut up. Don't say any more. I don't like you, and I won't be with you. Please don't say such things in the future. I'm going home. Fang Shishir felt as if a knife was being twisted in her heart. She turned around and left. She wanted to ask Tang Zheng what was going on. Did he really lie to her? Was this all an illusion? Before she could take 2 steps, her mouth was covered by someone. Her body was soft as if she had no strength. Her head was heavy as if she had dozed off. She lost to lose consciousness to sleep too. Seeing her fall, Qiao Fei hugged her. His lips curved into a devious smile as he muttered, Shishir, this is all because of you. I pursued you bitterly, but you chose Tang Zheng. If I didn't make a move, then that poor bastard Tang Jing would have taken advantage of me. I will never let that happen. Looking at Fang Shishi's beautiful face, his eyes lit up. Tonight, you are mine. Don't ever think of leaving me again. Ha! Qiao Fei was confident that as long as he obtained the woman's body, he would have thousands of ways to make her unable to leave him. He supported Fang Shishi, and like an intimate couple, they quickly walked out of the side door and got into the car that had been prepared long ago. The car went straight to the 5-star hotel. Qiao Fei familiarly went up the stairs and entered the room that was already prepared. Looking at Fang Shishi, who was quietly lying on the bed, she was like a sleeping beauty. He swallowed his saliva and became restless. Where is this? Suddenly, Fang Shishi opened her eyes and unconsciously asked. Suddenly, she saw Qiao Fei and the surrounding environment. Her face greatly changed as she exclaimed, Qiao Fei, what are you doing? Hi hey, a single man and a single woman. What do you think I am doing? Qiao Fei, we are classmates. Don't be like this. This is against the law. Do you know that? Fang Shishi's heart was in a mess. How could she not understand what Qiao Fei wanted to do? She never would have thought that Qiao Fei was this kind of person. It's against the law. My family has money. The law has no effect on rich people. The law will only punish poor bastards like Tang Jing. You did something bad. My family will not let you off. Hi hey, maybe after we get together, your family will be even happier. Our two families will be united by marriage. This will be a good story for both our families. No, I don't like you. I will not let you succeed. Fang Shishi bit her lips and resolutely said. Qiao Fei laughed, this is not up to you. Right now I have the final say. Do you think you can still resist? Fang Shishi struggled to stand up but found that her whole body was sore and weak. What did you do to me? Just a little trick. This will make the game more interesting. Moreover, I dare to guarantee that after you experience my good side, you will definitely not leave me again. You're dreaming. No, what I said is the truth and not a dream. Because in a moment I will record your moving side. This kind of moving and beautiful side should be kept as a memento. But if you leave me in the future, these beautiful things will spread throughout the world. Shameless. Fang Shishi's whole body was ice cold. Qiao Fei actually wanted to record a dirty video to threaten her. How could he be so perverted and so despicable? How could she not have noticed before? If she let him succeed, then her whole life would be ruined. How would she have the face to see Tang Jing? This was the first time in her life that she felt such despair. Tang Jing, where are you? Quickly come and save me. She cried out in her heart, but she knew that Tang Jing should be tutoring right now. How could he appear here? He was not a god and did not have divine schemes. Qiao Fei, I beg you, let me go. I don't like you. A forced melon is not sweet. Fang Shishi was about to cry as she begged. Hang, now you know to beg me. It's too late. I used to be so good to you, but you turned a blind eye and chose that poor bastard Tang Jing. You have broken my heart. Tonight, no one can save you. From now on, you are mine. In a moment I will be a bit more gentle and let you know what it's like to be a man. These unbearable words made Fang Shishi's face and ears turn red. She was angry and scared. Her whole body trembled as she said, Qiao Fei, even if you obtain my body, you will not obtain my heart. Moreover, I will not let you go. Her body was soft and she did not have the ability to resist. Tonight, she suffered under his evil hands. She would not have the face to see Tang Jing and could only leave this world forever. But even if she became a ghost, she would not let Qiao Fei go. Seeing the hatred and determination in her eyes, Xiao Fei felt as if his heart had been ruthlessly stabbed. A wave of unwillingness and anger rushed to his heart as he hysterically roared, "Even if I can't obtain your heart, I will obtain your body. Bitch, are you still thinking about Tang Jing? Let me tell you, not only will I obtain you, I will watch as his woman is taken away from him. I will make him suffer so much that he will wish he was dead. You pervert. Ha, you dare to call me a pervert? I'll show you how perverted I am." Xiao Fei's anger rose from his heart as he sent a slap towards Fang Shishir. Fang Shishir was unable to dodge, but she did not close her eyes in fear. Instead, she opened her eyes wide. In her eyes, besides anger, there was also contempt and unyielding. Pang! A muffled sound rang out. Fang Shishir did not feel any pain, but she felt a hot air coming from her chest. Then Xiao Fei flew out and heavily hit the wall. He fainted like a dead fish. Ah, what is going on? Fang Shishir was dumbstruck. With her knowledge, she could not understand what was going on. There was no third party in the room, so how could he fly out? Seeing him faint, she finally let out a sigh of relief. She only wanted to quickly escape this devil's den, but she found that her body was still weak. No, I must leave here. Otherwise, when he wakes up, I will not be able to escape. She used all her strength to reach into her pocket for her phone only to find that it was gone. Xiao Fei must have taken it away. What should I do? What should I do? I can't walk. I must call someone to come to the hotel and save me. Suddenly, her eyes fell on the phone at the head of the bed. Right, use this phone. She stretched out her hand with difficulty and a number immediately jumped into her mind. She did not even think about it and directly dialed the number. At this time, the first person she thought of was not her family, but Tang Jing. It seems that she subconsciously believed that Tang Jing could save her. Sorry, the number you have dialed is currently busy. The line was busy. Fang Shishir was close to despair. Just as she was about to call her family, her hands suddenly froze. Because Xiao Fei woke up. F***ck, it hurts so much. Suddenly, Xiao Fei loudly shouted. She hopelessly looked at Xiao Fei, who had already stood up. Xiao Fei shook his head and blankly looked around. He did not find a third party and Fang Shishir was still lying on the bed. What is going on? Am I hallucinating? No, how could this be an illusion? He clearly remembered that he was sent flying by a strong force and then lost consciousness. Evil F***ck, I don't believe that even the heavens cannot stop me from getting her. He had already been completely blinded by anger and desire. Fang Shishir, tonight you are mine. He laughed nastily and once again threw himself at Fang Shishir. The innate qi in Tang Zheng's body began to violently vibrate, and he immediately realized that something was wrong. This was not his own problem, but someone else's problem. The Imperial Spirit Array had been activated, and he had a kind of telepathy with the array. But he was unable to determine who was in danger. He immediately rushed out of Lu Qingmei's house like the wind and said, "Teacher Lu, I have something to do, so I will leave first." Just as he finished speaking, he had already disappeared. Lu Qingmei's eyebrows slightly wrinkled as she stared at the door. She muttered to herself, "Escape, I want to see how long you can escape for." She mistakenly believed that Tang Jing had his secret exposed and did not know how to face it, so he found an excuse to escape. Young people will always be young people. They are still too impatient and expose themselves after being tricked by my words. Tang Jing did not run around like a headless fly. This was because when the formation was activated, he had a feeling that he had sensed the location of the victim. Chapter 61. Tang Jing, where did you take my daughter? Shi Mengqin bombarded Tang Zhang's ears with a high decibel. "Auntie, did Shishir not return home?" Tang Zhang asked. "You already know the answer. Let me ask you, what did you do to my daughter? Hurry and let her return home. If you dare to do anything bad to her, I will definitely not let you off." Shi Mengqin threatened. "Auntie, don't worry. Shishir will definitely be fine." Tang Jing hurriedly hung up the phone. The two did not know that while they were on the phone, Fang Shishir had called for help. However, because Tang Jing was using the old man's phone, there was no notification, so he missed this crucial call. Tang Jing madly ran, rushing towards the location he sensed. "Tian Chanzi, is there any way for me to clearly pinpoint Shishir's location?" Tang Jing anxiously asked as he ran. "There is." Tian Chanzi did not beat around the bush and directly taught Tang Jing the tracking technique. Tang Jing learned it quickly, and in the darkness, his perception of Fang Shishir became even clearer. The tracking technique could not track just anyone, but the most important thing was that the spirit control array was activated, so he was able to quickly track. City Center. Fortunately, Lu Qingmei's home was near the city center, so Tang Jing did not need to run for long to reach his destination. Hotel. Tang Jing looked at the luxurious hotel, and the ominous premonition in his heart grew stronger. Fang Shishir was in danger in a hotel, and this was enough to explain many problems. "Shishir, you must wait for me. You must be fine." Tang Jing entered the hotel, and a moment later, he arrived outside a guest room. The tracking technique's location was here. The door was tightly shut, but how could it stop him? Peng, he directly kicked open the door. "Who is it?" Qiao Fei was lying on top of Fang Shishir's body, tearing off her clothes. Suddenly, a muffled sound came from the door. He shouted and turned his head to look, only to find that there was another person in the room. It was a person that he definitely did not want to see, a person that he did not expect. "Tang Jing, why are you here?" Qiao Fei panicked as if he had seen a ghost. "Bastard, I'm going to kill you." When Tang Jing saw Fang Shishir lying on the bed with tears streaming down her face, he became enraged. He madly rushed over and punched Qiao Fei in the chest. Roar! Qiao Fei was like a shrimp, instantly lying on the ground. "Shishir." Tang Jing picked up Fang Shishir. "Bastard, get lost. Don't touch me, don't touch me." Fang Shishir screamed in panic. Her eyes were full of despair and pain. Tang Jing felt as if a knife was being twisted, and said, "Shishir, it's me, I'm Tang Jing." Fang Shishir was startled, and said, "Tang Jing, save me, I've come to save you. You're fine, you're safe." Tang Jing tightly held her in his arms, as if he was holding the most precious thing in the world. Fang Shishir's emotions gradually calmed down. She finally saw Tang Jing clearly. She was pleasantly surprised, and said, "Tang Jing, it really is you. You've come to save me." "It's me, I came late and made you suffer. I knew you would come to save me. You are my hero, my great hero. Qiao Fei is a bastard, he wants to." As she spoke, she began to cry again. "With me here, no one will be able to harm you." Tang Jing patted her back, comforting her. At the same time, he felt a lingering fear. If he had come a step later, the consequences would have been unimaginable. "Qiao Fei, this bastard, I will definitely not let him go." His gaze fell on Qiao Fei's body. He was already struggling to stand up, the muscles on his face twisted together in pain. "Tang Jing, you dare hit me. F***ck, not only will I hit you, I will also kill you, you bastard." Tang Jing put down Fang Shishir, and like a fierce tiger, he flashed, punching and kicking Qiao Fei. Qiao Fei miserably screamed, and not long after, his face was bruised and swollen. He fell to the ground, twitching, and did not have any strength to resist. Tang Zheng, don't hit him. If you continue, he will die. Fang Shishir saw the situation and hurriedly advised. I just want to kill him. If you kill him, do you want to go to jail? If you go to jail, what will I do? Tang Zheng stopped. Tang Zheng, let's leave this place. I don't want to see him again. Fang Shishir painfully said. Okay, we will leave immediately. But Xiao Fei has done such an outrageous thing. He can avoid the death penalty, but he cannot escape punishment. Shishir, you go out for a while, I will come out immediately. I can't walk. He drugged me. Tang Zheng slapped his head. He was too careless and did not notice this. He grabbed her hand and used his qi to check. Finding that the situation was not too serious, he immediately used his qi to disperse the drug. Fang Shishir suddenly found that she had regained her ability to move. She immediately opened her eyes wide and looked at Tang Zheng in amazement. She did not know how he did it. He really is my hero. You go out first. Fang Shishir obediently walked to the door. Tang Zheng grabbed Xiao Fei and lifted him up. Tang Zheng, what are you doing? Killing people is illegal. Xiao Fei fearfully shouted. Hang, killing you is dirtying my hands. Tang Zheng quickly tore off his clothes. Ah, what are you doing? Don't tell me you have this kind of hobby. Xiao Fei's but tightened as he panicked. Do you think everyone is as perverted as you? Xiao Fei, I have no enmity with you. You have targeted me time and time again. You even sent people to deal with my grandfather. Do you think I will just let you go? Xiao Fei's face was deathly white as he panicked and said, Tang Zheng, please let me go. I will never treat you like that again. Before, I was jealous of you. Your studies were better than mine and Fang Shishir also liked you. I was blinded by jealousy. A leopard cannot change its spots. I have already given you a chance, but you did not cherish it. Tang Zheng had already promised not to care about Xiao Fei's actions, but he was seeking his own death. This cannot be blamed on him. Seeing Tang Zheng like a killing god, Xiao Fei was terrified as he begged for mercy. Tang Zheng, please don't kill me. I have money. I will give you money. Don't you need money? Who wants your stinky money? Just accept your fate. You have done many evil deeds. This is retribution. Seeing Tang Zheng about to make a move, although he did not know how Tang Zheng was going to deal with him, he knew that Tang Zheng would definitely make him wish he was dead. Seeing that begging for mercy was futile, he became angry and roared, Tang Zheng, who do you think you are? I am the young master of a rich family. You are a poor bastard who grew up in a garbage dump. I only hate that I did not directly kill you and only made your brain stupid. What? You are saying that my injury was caused by you? Tang Zheng had long suspected this. Today, hearing Xiao Fei confirm it with his own mouth made him even angrier. That attack had changed his fate, causing him to fall from the altar to the dust and suffer the supercilious looks of others. Yes, I did it. So what? You have occupied the school's #1 position for a long time, making everyone's eyes focus on you. I do not accept this. You do not deserve this glory. So I will pull you down from the altar and make you the object of disdain. Xiao Fei seemed to have thrown caution to the wind as he spoke his true thoughts. Tang Zheng's heart moved as he asked, then the tuition fee was also done by you, right? Haha, of course. I will force you away. I will make you and Fang Shishir far away so that you will never have a chance. Tang Zheng's eyes flashed with anger. He originally only wanted to teach Xiao Fei a lesson and make him afraid of him. It seems that his thoughts were too simple. Xiao Fei may be afraid of him, but he will definitely not let this matter go. Since he has persistently targeted him for so long, then in the future he will definitely become even worse. It is easy to dodge a spear in the open, but difficult to defend against a hidden arrow. He must nip this hidden danger in the bud. Moreover, what he did to Fang Shishir is unforgivable. Dragons have reverse scales, humans also have reverse scales. Tang Zhang's family and loved ones are his reverse scales. Anyone who touches it will die. He has already been completely controlled by hatred. Kill him and everything will be over. Tian Chanzi suggested. No, if I kill him the police will intervene. I will cause trouble. I want him to beg for death and become an idiot. Do you have any ideas? This is simple. You only need to use your qi to mess around in his brain. Then his brain will turn into paste and he will naturally become an idiot. Okay, that's it. Tang Jing does not feel that he is cruel and merciless. Because Xiao Fei has tried to kill him several times, he is still being merciful. Xiao Fei, in the future you will never be able to do evil again. Tang Jing reached out his hand and pressed on his temple. If you have the guts, then kill me. Otherwise I will never let you go. Xiao Fei shouted fiercely. I won't kill you, because I want you to become an idiot. Just as his voice fell, Tang Jing activated his martial arts. Idiot. Xiao Fei was very puzzled. Suddenly, his brain felt a sharp pain, as if a knife was inserted into his brain. He directly fainted. Tang Jing checked the room to make sure that there are no clues left behind. Finally, he found Fang Shishir's phone on Xiao Fei's body. Only then did he leave the room. What did you do to him? Fang Shishir saw him come out and quickly asked. Make him unable to do evil again. You killed him. Fang Shishir's eyes widened in horror. How could I? I only knocked him unconscious. Let's go. Fang Shishir let out a sigh of relief. Even though she hates Xiao Fei, she does not want Tang Zhang's hands to be stained with blood. How did you find me? After leaving the hotel, Fang Shishir could not help but curiously ask. After calming down, she realized that Tang Zhang's sudden appearance was very mysterious. Do you still remember the jade Buddha that I gave you? I remember. I always have it with me. The jade Buddha is a treasure. Whenever you encounter an attack, I can sense it. Treasure. Fang Shishir's eyes widened. It was as if she was listening to a myth. This was beyond her understanding. Could it be that when Xiao Fei wanted to hit me, he was sent flying because of the jade Buddha? Even though Tang Jing did not see that scene, he guessed that this should be the case. He nodded and said, yes, that's why I can sense it. However, the jade Buddha can only be used once a day. This was because Tang Zhang's martial arts were still weak. Therefore, the imperial spirit formation's effect was reduced. It could only be used once a day. Moreover, the imperial spirit formation's effect was that the stronger the enemy's attack, the stronger the counterattack. Xiao Fei only slapped her and the attack was not strong. He was only sent flying. If his attack was more intense, then he would have been directly injured or even killed. Fang Shishir's heart felt sweet. He actually gave her such a precious treasure. It was enough to see how important she was in his heart. In the future, remember to always carry it with you. Tang Jing warned. I'll send you home. Chapter 62. Your mom just called me asking where you were and told me to quickly send you home. Tang Jing said. Fang Shishir firmly shook her head and said, I really don't want to go home, I want to be with you. Saying this she held on to Tang Zhang's arm. Tang Zhang was helpless as she had suffered so much today, so he really should stay by her side. Then let's go for a walk. N. Tang Jing, Xiao Fei said that you stayed at Yi Dingdong's house last night. Ah. Tang Jing was slightly stunned but did not deny it. Yes, last night something happened in the Ye family and they asked me to help, so I stayed at the Ye family. What happened? It's already been resolved. Tang Jing would not be so stupid as to say that he and Yi Dingdang had a fake engagement, as that would simply be asking for trouble. Oh. Seeing that he did not want to say more, Fang Shishir did not force him. The two strolled along the street as the night was hazy and the lights on both sides of the road pulled their shadows long. Fang Shishir raised her head to look at Tang Jing and said, I've noticed that you've changed a lot recently and you seem different from before. What's different? Tang Jing pretended to be calm as he said in his heart that a woman's directness was really sensitive. I don't know, come up. Anyways, I feel that your temperament has changed and your attitude towards doing things is also different from before. Tang Jing could not help but sigh with emotion. Imperceptibly, even he himself did not realize that there was such a big change. In the past, he only knew how to study and was the standard obedient student. Now, his actions were even more casual, revealing a free and easy feeling. However, no matter what you become, I will still like it. Fang Shishir tightly held his hand and sincerely said. Shishir, I will protect you so that you will never be bullied again. Tang Zhang's emotions fluctuated as he firmly said. I believe in you. Tomorrow, I will request to change classes. I want to be in the same class as you. I don't want to be in class 1 anymore. I don't want to see Xiao Fei again. Suddenly, her expression darkened as she said. Xiao Fei probably won't return to school. Tang Jing said. Why? Because I beat him into a pig's head. Tang Jing didn't want to say that he had already turned him into an idiot. Then he will still go back after he recovers. Besides, I don't want to stay here any longer. I want to be in the same class as you. I want to be by your side. There was a deeper reason for Fang Shishir's decision. Although there was nothing going on between Tang Jing and Yi Dingdang, the two of them were desk mates after all. They spent a lot of time together, so there was no telling what might happen. It would be too late to take precautions then. This was her little thought, but the starting point was her love for Tang Jing, so it was understandable. But will the old witch agree? It doesn't matter if she doesn't agree. My dad is a member of the school's board of directors. I still have the privilege of changing classes. Tang Jing didn't try to persuade her again. Unknowingly, the two of them walked from the city center to the south of the city. The night grew darker and colder. Fang Shishir couldn't help but shiver. You're cold. I'll send you home. I already said that I won't go back. Fang Shishir repeated. But your family will be worried. Just as his voice fell, Tang Zhang's phone rang again. Your mom is calling. Tang Zhang picked it up and looked. Fang Shishir pursed her lips. Tang Zhang, if you don't send my daughter back, then I will call the police. Shi Mengqin sternly threatened. Tang Zhang made a helpless expression towards Fang Shishir and said, Auntie, I will immediately send Shishir home. Don't worry. Hang, at least you know your place. Hurry up. Shishir, if I don't send you back, then your mom will call the police. After hanging up the phone, Tang Jing said. Fang Shishir unhappily said, she wants to take care of everything. Since I was young, everything was arranged by her. I am just like a puppet. Tonight, she had encountered too many things. Her emotions fluctuated greatly. She cares about you. In the future, we will have plenty of time to be together. Moreover, you don't want her opinion of me to grow bigger and bigger. Tang Jing advised. Okay. Fang Shishir agreed. The two of them took a taxi to a luxurious villa. Go back and rest early tonight. Tomorrow, we will be together. Fang Shishir said expectantly. And you should also have a good sleep. Don't think about tonight's matter anymore. Tang Jing warned. Then I will go in. Fang Shishir hugged Tang Jing, kissed him on the lips, and then reluctantly walked in. This scene was coincidentally seen by Shi Mengqin, who walked out. Immediately, her eyes widened and she said in a low voice, Shishir, what were you doing just now? Nothing. Fang Shishir lightly said. Good, I saw it with my own eyes. You actually dare to lie. The more you follow him, the worse you become. No, I definitely cannot let him leave like this. Shi Mengqin was flustered and exasperated. You are not allowed to go. If you dare to find trouble with him, I will never speak to you again. What? You actually dare to threaten me? I am tired. I want to go to sleep. Stop. Just what did you guys do tonight? Shi Mengqin relentlessly asked. I don't want to tell you. Fang Shishir thought of that humiliating scene and her mood immediately fell. She only wanted to take a bath and sleep, completely forgetting everything. But her cold reaction was simply disgraceful and abnormal in Shi Mengqin's eyes. How could her previously obedient daughter become so disobedient? This was definitely instigated by Tang Jing. This little brat has unfathomable motives. He actually instigated my daughter to go against me. Preposterous, simply preposterous. The more Shi Mengqin thought, the angrier she became. If he wants to rely on the Ya family's support to do bad things to my daughter, then he is wrong. I will definitely not let him succeed. In a few days, I will bring Tang Jing home to eat. You should prepare. Before entering, Fang Shishir's words almost caused Shi Mengqin's jaw to drop. He wants to enter the Fang family so quickly. He must be daydreaming. Whatever, I was worried that I would not have a chance to teach you a lesson. When the time comes, I will definitely embarrass you and let you know that our Fang family's threshold is very high. You simply cannot reach it. The next day, Tang Jing discovered that Lu Qingmei's gaze towards him was somewhat strange. It was like an eagle looking at a little chick. Damn, last night she almost saw through my flaws. If I continue to tutor her, then one day I will be exposed. Even though he felt that Lu Qingmei was a very good teacher and that he could absorb a lot of purine energy by being with her, compared to exposing his secret, he would rather choose to maintain a certain distance from her. Tonight I must find an excuse to avoid her. Teacher Lu, come out for a moment. Suddenly, the principal called out from outside the door. Lu Qingmei stopped teaching and walked out. The entire class looked outside, not knowing what happened. A moment later, Lu Qingmei walked in, but there was an extra person behind her, Fang Shishir. Immediately, everyone's eyes widened as they looked at this beautiful school flower, not knowing what was going on. Lu Qingmei's expression was still cold, making it impossible for people to see her mood. She lightly said, Today, our class has a new student, Fang Shishir. For the next 2 months, everyone will be studying together. My name is Fang Shishir. In the future, I will be looking forward to everyone's guidance. Fang Shishir sweetly smiled and gently said. Everyone was stunned for half a minute. What kind of song is this? Fang Shishir is the current #1 in the entire school. Why would she come to the hell class? Some of the more quick-witted people already thought of a reason, Tang Jing. So they all turned their heads to look at Tang Jing in the last row. They discovered that his expression was normal, as if nothing had happened. F***ck, this must be because of Tang Jing. His luck with women is too good. He actually made Fang Shishir change classes for him. Many people were envious, jealous, and hateful. Why didn't such a good thing fall on their heads? Takashi clenched his fist and thought, yesterday, wasn't Xiao Fei going to make a move against Fang Shishir? Why is Fang Shishir acting like nothing happened? Could it be that Xiao Fei cancelled his plan? Now that Xiao Fei sees the cooked duck fly away, I wonder what kind of expression he will have. Suddenly, his heart lit up as a glimmer of hope appeared in his heart. Fang Shishir is here. That means Tang Jing won't have a chance to hook up with Yi Dingdang. That means my chance has come. Thinking of this, he wanted to jump up in excitement. This time Xiao Fei is out of luck. My good luck has come. Who cares, my own happiness is more important. What does Xiao Fei's happiness have to do with me? He and Xiao Fei were jackals of the same tribe. They only got together because they were birds of a feather. There was no friendship to speak of. Naturally, he wouldn't feel sad for him. Fang Shishir really should have come to class 7 earlier. That Tang Zhang and Yi Dingdang probably didn't have a chance. But now it's not too late. Takashi's luck has changed. My spring has finally come. Where do you want to sit? Lu Qingmei asked. Of course she would welcome such a top student. She and everyone else thought that Fang Shishir came for Tang Jing. She couldn't help but take a few more glances at Tang Jing. How could this brat's charm be so great? Yi Dingdang and his relationship seemed to be very close. Moreover, Fang Shishir, his official girlfriend, even changed classes. Tang Zhang was simply like a love saint. Teacher Lu, can I sit there? Fang Shishir pointed at the seat in front of Tang Jing. There was already someone sitting there. Actually, Fang Shishir wanted to sit together with Tang Jing. However, she knew that Yi Dingdang would definitely not agree. Why would she make such an impossible request? Then you'll have to ask your classmate's opinion. Lu Qingmei pointed at the male student sitting there and said. I don't have any objections. You can sit here with me. The male student excitedly said. It was as if being chosen by Fang Shishir was his greatest honor. Fang Shishir smiled and expressed her thanks. Then she naturally sat in front of Tang Jing, leaving her beautiful back and jet black hair to Tang Jing. Tang Jing didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He used to think that Fang Shishir was very obedient and timid. Only now did he realize that her courage wasn't small at all. She openly sat in front of him. At this point, even a blind person could see that she came for Tang Jing. Feng Yong quietly gave a thumbs up to Tang Jing. Yi Dingdang also looked at him thoughtfully and meaningfully. Such a big piece of news happened in the Hell class. It made all the students' hearts surge. But at the same time, the elite class 1 was also experiencing a big event. Chapter 63. Fang Shishir decisively leaving class 1 for class 7 was like a ruthless slap to Wu Zuihong's face. She had expressed her contempt and disgust for class 7 on more than one occasion, but today, the most outstanding student in her class actually took the initiative to transfer to class 7. This was an undisguised slap to her face. Wu Zuihong's anger burned as she really had the urge to kill. The entire class was silent out of fear that they would be implicated. Suddenly Wu Zuihong's gaze fell on another empty seat, Xiao Fei. Where did Xiao Fei go? She unhappily asked. After being silent for a long time, someone finally carefully said, Xiao Fei did not come today. Did not come. Wu Zuihong's face became increasingly ashen, but she did not think too much about it as Xiao Fei was not only the class monitor but also his family background. Even if he really played truant, she would not be able to do anything to him. Study for this class yourself. Wu Zuihong did not have the desire to teach as she coldly threw down these words and walked out of the classroom. Just at this moment a middle-aged woman dressed in luxurious clothing walked in with 2 strong men behind her who loudly shouted, "Not a single one is allowed to leave." Wu Zuehong of course recognized this person as she was Qiao Fei's mother. Wu Zuehong hurriedly went up to greet her as she forced out a smile and said, "Madam Qiao, why did you come?" Madam Qiao coldly looked at Wu Zuehong and with an ashen face said, "You are also not allowed to leave." Wu Zuehong was suddenly startled as she did not know why the other party was so angry. She hurriedly said, "Madam Qiao, did something happen?" "Of course something has happened, something big has happened. Someone has grown the guts of a leopard and actually dared to harm my son. I will definitely drag this person out," Madam Qiao said with a murderous look. Wu Zuehong was shocked when she heard this and asked with concern, "Qiao Fei is injured. Is his injury serious? What is going on? I also want to ask you what is going on. You are his teacher and yesterday after school he did not return home and today he was found injured. He is still unconscious and is currently undergoing emergency treatment," Madam Qiao sternly asked. Wu Zuehong said in her heart, "What does this have to do with me?" But she couldn't directly add fuel to the fire and said, "I'm also very concerned about Qiao Fei's injury, but we should first figure out what happened. I remember that he was fine yesterday after school. Then tell us what happened after school. You are his teacher and classmate, so you must know the truth. If you don't tell us today, then no one is allowed to leave the classroom." Madam Qiao's request was unreasonable, causing all of the students to glare at her. "What are you glaring at? My son is injured. You are all suspects. If you know the truth, say it quickly. Otherwise, you will have to bear the consequences." "Are you being unreasonable? We weren't the ones who hurt Qiao Fei, so what right do you have to question us?" someone retorted. "Why? My family is a board member of the school. Anyway, if we don't get to the bottom of this today, no one can leave the classroom." Wu Zuehong felt a headache coming on. Fang Shishi's matter had just passed and now this happened. Could it be that this year was really unlucky for her to have so many troublesome matters come knocking on her door? She suppressed the anger in her heart and said, "Madam Qiao, this is definitely a misunderstanding. Students, don't complain. Everyone cooperate and recall if you saw Qiao Fei yesterday after school. Qiao Fei purposely avoided everyone yesterday after school, so how could he be discovered?" Seeing everyone shake their heads, Madam Qiao became unhappy. She thought that these students were not cooperating and said, "I don't believe that I can't deal with a group of students. I'll interrogate you one by one. We are not criminals. You have no right to interrogate us." The students were young and full of vigor. They were all the pearls of their palms at home. When had they ever suffered such humiliation? They all retorted, causing the atmosphere to become tense. Madam Qiao was not afraid at all. Instead, she looked at them with ridicule. Suddenly, her eyes fell on two empty seats. One of them was her son's, but what about the other one? This meant that there were not all students in the classroom. Call all the students in your class over. Not a single person can be missing. There must be someone who knows the details. Madam Qiao ordered arrogantly as if Wu Zuehong was one of her subordinates. "My class's students are all here." "Liar, there are clearly two empty seats." "Oh, the other empty seat is a student who just transferred to another class." "Just transferred?" To be in such a hurry to transfer, there must be a problem. Who knows, maybe my son's injury is related to her. Let's go find this student. Madam Qiao's eyes lit up as if she had discovered a new continent. Wu Zuehong originally wanted to persuade her, but after thinking about it, Fang Shishi was no longer in her class, so why should she speak good words for her? It would be best if Madam Qiao went to cause a ruckus. That way, she could also make Lu Qingmei lose face, killing two birds with one stone. That student transferred to Class 7. The worst Class 7. Madam Qiao said in surprise as she clearly knew of Class 7's reputation. There must be a problem with this person. Transferring to a trash class like Class 7, how could she be a good student? My son's injury must be related to her. Let's go to Class 7. The three of them rushed to Class 7. Wu Zuiheng hesitated for a moment before also chasing after them. The other students looked at each other in dismay. Just what kind of trouble was this? Lu Qingmei was in the middle of her lesson when she heard a ruckus outside. Then the classroom door was heavily pushed open and fiercely hit the wall, making a loud noise. Lu Qingmei immediately raised her eyebrows as she stared at the door with an unkind expression. Coincidentally, she saw Madame Chiao aggressively walk in with two strong men. "Get out, I'm in the middle of a lesson," Lu Qingmei said without any trace of politeness. Madame Chiao looked at Lu Qingmei and couldn't help but feel ashamed of her inferiority. At her age, what she hated the most was seeing others younger and prettier than her. However, there was no doubt that Lu Qingmei was younger and prettier than her. In front of Lu Qingmei, she was like an old tree branch. Thus, she didn't have a good expression towards Lu Qingmei and said, "You still want to go to class?" "No way. Hand over the student that just transferred from Class 1. Lu Qingmei was secretly astonished. Just who was this crazy woman and why was she looking for Fang Shishir? "Who are you?" Lu Qingmei asked. Hang, who am I? I am someone you can't afford to provoke. Let me tell you, hurry up and call that person out. Otherwise, I will make sure you lose your job, Madame Chiao said overbearingly. Lu Qingmei obviously saw that her background wasn't ordinary, but how could she be afraid of her? She jokingly said, "You want me to lose my job? You don't have the qualifications. My family is a board member of this school. You say I don't have the qualifications." Lu Qingmei's expression didn't change as she said, "So what if you are a board member? I am in class, so even if you are the emperor, you still have to get out." Lu Qingmei was a person who would become stronger when faced with a strong opponent. Madame Chiao wanted to use her status to pressure her, but she didn't fall for it. Seeing the unyielding Lu Qingmei, Madame Chiao was both angry and amused. In all these years, no one had dared to speak to her like this. She directly walked in front of the male student and fiercely slapped the table and said, "Tell me, who is the student that just transferred from Class 1? Who do you think you are?" "Why should I tell you?" The male student looked at her with disdain and completely ignored her. Class 7 couldn't be compared to Class 1. The students' bones were filled with pride and they also had the rebellious nature of young people. Even the teachers were unable to subdue them, so how could they be afraid of a woman who suddenly ran in and made a fuss? Madame Chiao angrily said, "You are expelled. Immediately scram. I think you should be the one to scram." Lu Qingmei walked over. "I will say it again. Please leave my classroom. I want to go to class." "What kind of class is this? Who is the one that just transferred from Class 1? Stand up for this old lady." Madame Chiao slapped the table and angrily roared. Many people subconsciously looked towards Fang Shishir. They all wanted to know what kind of enmity she had with this crazy woman for her to actually make this crazy woman so angry. However, no one said anything about Fang Shishir. Instead, they all angrily stared at Madame Chiao. Seeing Madame Chiao being rude to Lu Qingmei again and again, many people angrily stood up. This anger quickly accumulated and finally exploded into a shocking roar, scram. The sound was so loud that the floor seemed to tremble. Madame Chiao was frightened and retreated 3 steps. If not for 2 strong men supporting her, she would have already fallen to the ground. She was both frightened and frightened. Her chest was heaving up and down as she gasped for breath and said, "Rebel, you guys really rebel. You don't want to talk, right? I have a way to make you talk. You guys go grab a person and interrogate him. I want to see how long you guys can keep your mouths shut. Two strong men flashed and grabbed a male student. They wanted to pull him out of his seat, but the male student held onto the table with a red face. Stop! Lu Qingmei coldly shouted. She wanted to stop them but was blocked by one of the strong men. If you don't cooperate, then this is your fate. Madame Chow arrogantly said. My students, no one can touch them. You will pay the price for what you have done today. Lu Qingmei said in a powerful and resonant voice. The classroom was bustling with noise and excitement. Suddenly, someone shouted, let's fight it out with them. A few male students raised their chairs and were about to rush forward. Just at this time, Fang Shishir stood up and said, the person you are looking for is me. Let go of that student. Shwa. The noise disappeared in an instant, and everyone looked at her at the same time. Fang Shishir, don't stand up. There is no reason to talk to these people. Let's chase them out. Someone shouted. Right, chase them out. Madame Chow stared at Fang Shishir. Another girl who was younger and more beautiful than her. This caused her jealousy to increase. She waved her hand and said, grab her for me. Chapter 64. Fang Shishir did not retreat or dodge. Under this kind of attack, she was like a rootless duckweed without any ability to resist. But she was not afraid, not even the slightest bit of fear. Instead, she was filled with courage because there was a person standing behind her, a person she could entrust her life to, Tang Jing. Just now, when Madame Chow barged in and caused a ruckus, the two of them guessed that it might be related to Chow Fei. Seeing that Madame Chow actually wanted to harm other students, Fang Shishir immediately stood up. The sturdy man's hand was about to grab her shoulder when suddenly, a hand appeared without any warning. Then, the sturdy man felt as if his hand had touched a hard piece of steel and was fiercely bounced back. He felt a burning pain and felt as if his bones were about to break. Tang Zheng had already stood up and stared at the sturdy man. When their eyes met, the sturdy man angrily shouted, "Who are you?" "Scram!" Tang Jing shouted. The opponent was not even a martial artist, so he had no interest in making a move. The sturdy man's feeling was different. He felt an extremely dangerous aura from Tang Zhang's body. Although the other party's performance was no different from the other students, he still had this kind of feeling in his heart. Even he himself felt that it was ridiculous. "Why aren't you making a move?" Madame Chow asked. Bang! The sturdy man knew that he could not stay in a stalemate, so he made a move. His fist went straight for Tang Zhang's face. Bang! Before anyone could see it clearly, they saw the burly man softly fall down like a dead fish. Madame Chow finally realized that something was wrong and shouted, "Good, you still dare to hit people. Hurry up and capture that girl and boy." The other sturdy man also rushed over, but when he reached Tang Jing, he followed in his footsteps and fell to the ground like a dead fish. Wah! Everyone stared with wide eyes at Tang Jing as if they were looking at an alien. This was the first time they saw Tang Jing make a move. They were all shocked because they did not see how Tang Jing made a move. In their minds, a word quickly flashed: expert. Teenagers all worshipped the strong, and many of them immediately cheered. Madame Chow was so angry that her face turned white. No matter how stupid she was, she knew that she had encountered a tough opponent. "Brat, you dare to hit people, you're fired," Madame Chow said in a threatening manner. Tang Jing gave her a look of disdain and did not pay her any attention. A strange light flashed through Lu Qingmei's eyes as she glanced at Tang Jing. Then, she stared at Madame Chow and said, "You brought people to school to commit murder, so don't even think about leaving. This matter must be clearly investigated by the police." Call the police." "Good, someone injured my son, Chow Fei." Now that he is lying in the hospital, I also want to call the police. Without anyone to rely on, Madame Chiao was deeply afraid that this group of fearless students would gang up on her. When she heard that they were going to call the police, she couldn't wait. You can't call the police. Suddenly, the principal walked in and anxiously stopped them. We're all on the same side. This is just a misunderstanding. Let's clear things up. The principal already felt a headache coming on. He was the principal specially hired by the school board, so of course he knew Madame Chiao, so he couldn't let this situation escalate. Who is on the same side as her, principal? She openly brought people to school to commit murder. This kind of person must be severely punished. Lu Qingmei said straightforwardly. The principal bitterly smiled and said, Teacher Lu, please calm down. This is Chiao Fei's mother. The Chiao family is a board member, so how could she bring people to school to commit murder? This is definitely a misunderstanding. Moreover, according to my understanding, Chiao Fei is indeed injured and hospitalized, which is why Madame Chiao is so agitated. Chiao Fei is hospitalized. Lu Qingmei had of course heard of Chiao Fei's name. Chiao Fei's family background was illustrious, and his grades were also very good. However, she heard that he was a bit bossy and domineering, causing many students to fear him. My son was injured after school yesterday, and this matter cannot be separated from a certain student. I suspect that student is the biggest suspect. Moreover, that boy actually hit people. This kind of student must be expelled. Madame Chiao saw that the principal had arrived, so she became confident again. She placed her hands on her hips and said domineeringly. The principal glanced at Fang Shishir, and his forehead immediately broke out in cold sweat. If it was someone else, he would have the authority to deal with them, but Fang Shishir was not someone easy to deal with. The Fang family was also a board member, so he couldn't afford to offend them. Thus, he hurriedly tried to smooth things over. Madame Chiao, is there a misunderstanding here? Seeing that the principal actually sided with the other side in the blink of an eye, Madame Chiao became angry. She thought that she couldn't count on the principal today. Once this matter was over, she would definitely get rid of him and find another obedient principal. Misunderstanding. Then I'll have the police come and see if this is a misunderstanding. Saying this, she actually dialed a number and loudly said, Chief Deng, I'm at Pingqing International School. Come over, I have some matters for you to settle. Okay, I'll wait for you. After hanging up the phone, she looked at the crowd with contempt and said, the police will be here soon. You guys just wait and tell them. The principal wiped the cold sweat off his forehead and said, Madame Chiao, there is no need for the police to get involved in this matter. We can settle it ourselves. Hang, I don't need you to settle it. I'll let the police handle it. Let me tell you, before the police come, that girl and boy are not allowed to leave. Today, there must be an explanation. Principal, letting these kind of people come to our school to cause trouble is simply bringing shame to our school. Lu Qingmei said. The principal bitterly smiled and advised, Teacher Lu, don't say too much. Seeing this deadlock, Fang Shishir asked in a low voice, what should we do? Don't worry, they don't know anything so they won't be able to do anything. Tang Jing comforted her. How about I call home? The Chiao family is bullying others, but our family is not so easy to bully. Fang Shishir said. Last night, Fang Shishir was the victim, but now that Madame Chiao was making such a big fuss, it was as if she was the perpetrator, making her very angry. However, she did not want to make the matter of last night public. After all, it was not a good thing and related to her innocence. Even if nothing happened, if other people found out, there would definitely be rumors. For the time being, they don't have any evidence. Even if the police came, it would be useless. Later on, as long as we say that the two of us were together last night, they won't be able to do anything. Tang Jing warned. I understand. Yi Dingdang saw the two whispering and suspiciously asked, "What are you two chattering about?" "Nothing much." "What happened to Qiao Fei?" "Who knows?" Tang Jing shrugged his shoulders and feigned ignorance. In reality, he was the clearest about Qiao Fei's situation. "You two come over here." The principal waved towards Tang Zhang and Fang Shishir and said. The two of them walked over and the principal earnestly said, "Last night, student Qiao Fei was injured. Do you know who did it?" "I don't know." Tang Jing bluntly said. "I'm not asking you, stinking brat." Madame Qiao scolded and stared at Fang Shishir and said, "What did you do last night?" "Nothing." Nothing. Who do you think you are lying to? Hurry up and tell the truth, otherwise you will suffer." Madame Qiao fiercely said. Seeing this, the principal advised, "Madame Qiao, they are still children. Let's have a better attitude." Madame Qiao glared at the principal, not understanding why his attitude today was so abnormal. It was as if he was secretly helping outsiders. Since she said she didn't do anything, then she really didn't do anything. Lu Qingmei said. "Children these days are full of lies. If you believe her, pigs can climb trees. Let me ask you, you said you didn't do anything bad. Do you have a witness?" She was with me last night. "I can prove it," Tang Jing said. Lu Qingmei looked at Tang Jing in astonishment, thinking that he was clearly tutoring her last night, so how could he be with Fang Shishir? But she didn't point it out. "You two were together." Madame Qiao stared at Tang Jing. How could Tang Jing be afraid of her completely unthreatening gaze as he lightly said, "Yes. Now you have nothing to say. Wrongly accusing my student. I will sue you for slander. Wrongly accused or not, the police will know when they come." Madame Qiao didn't want to give up so easily. She had to find the culprit who injured her son. This way, when her son wakes up, she can resolve the hatred in her heart. Just as she finished speaking, several policemen boldly and decisively walked in and waved their hands. "Everyone make way. What are you all doing here?" "Chief Deng, you came just in time. My family's Qiao Fei was injured last night and is currently in the hospital for emergency treatment. I suspect that it has something to do with this female student." Madame Qiao bluntly said. "Which eye of yours saw that your son's injury has something to do with Fang Shishir?" Lu Qingmei angrily asked. This kind of thing doesn't need to be seen to know. Chief Deng, bring them all back. We will know once we interrogate them." Madame Qiao ordered. Deng Maokai originally thought it was just a small matter, but when he saw Lu Qingmei, he instantly recognized her. This was because the beauty of this level was really rare, and his impression of her from that meeting was too deep. When Tang Zheng was caught by Qiao Fei, it was Deng Maokai who single-handedly arranged it. In the end, he even found his own subordinate Lu Gang to be the scapegoat. Only then did he keep his position as chief. The most important thing was that the picture of him and his lover was taken by Tang Jing. He never would have thought that today he would be dragged by Qiao Fei's mother. Moreover, it seemed that he would have to face Lu Qingmei again. F***ck, why am I so unlucky? Are the Qiao family people my nemesis? I have only been quiet for a few days and now they are here again. A few days ago, Deng Maokai was on tenterhooks. He thought that Tang Jing would release his picture, but after discovering that there was no movement, he guessed that the other side was soft-hearted and let him go. He secretly rejoiced. Suddenly, Deng Maocai's pupils shrunk as he saw Tang Jing. His heart thumped and he could not help but cry out in grief. Why am I so unlucky? Why is it him again? Cough cough. Deng Maokai dryly coughed twice to cover up the shock in his heart. He pretended to be calm and said, "The police need evidence to handle a case and do not rely on words. We will investigate this matter and do not need other people to tell us what to do." What? Madame Chiao was not an idiot. She could clearly tell that Deng Maokai was not speaking up for her. For a moment she was stunned. Did the sun rise from the west today? How come the reinforcements that she brought over are all traitors? Chapter 65. Chief Deng, what do you mean? Madame Chiao asked in disbelief. Deng Maokai glanced at her and said in his heart, "Why won't you listen? I told you to shut up and I will decide on this matter." But he did not say it out loud as the Chiao family was not an ordinary family in ordinary balance. "Tell me, what exactly is going on?" Deng Maokai did not greet Lu Qingmei and Tang Zheng but pretended to be impartial and said in a businesslike manner. Madame Chiao had already discovered that something was wrong, but she still said, "My son was injured last night and I suspect that it has something to do with this female student." Deng Maocai's gaze turned towards Fang Shishir as he secretly praised her beauty and asked, "Classmate, can you tell me what you were doing last night?" "Last night I was with him the entire time," Fang Shishir calmly said. Deng Maokai glanced at Tang Jing and nodded his head, indicating that he understood, and then said, "Then do you know how Qiao Fei was injured?" "How could I know?" "No, she is lying." Madame Chiao immediately cried out. "What you say is the truth and what others say is a lie. Don't think so highly of yourself," Lu Qingmei coldly said. Deng Maokai glanced at Lu Qingmei and saw that her face was filled with anger, even more so than the last time at the police station. His heart thumped as if she was really angry, then he might suffer a calamity, so he quickly said, "This teacher's words are reasonable. Since both sides have their own version of the story and there is no evidence, we should wait until Qiao Fei wakes up. He will definitely know how he was injured." The principal interrupted, "That's right, once Qiao Fei wakes up then won't the truth be revealed?" Fang Shishir's gaze moved as she nervously looked towards Tang Zheng, but Tang Zheng's expression did not change as he comforted her with his eyes. Madame Chiao originally wanted to take advantage of the situation before her son woke up, so seeing that Deng Maokai was not helping her, she already knew that there was an unforeseen event. She unwillingly glared at Fang Shishir and said, "Then you just wait. Once my son wakes up, no matter who the culprit is, they will not have an easy time." Ring ring ring. As soon as she finished speaking, her phone rang. After she picked it up, her expression changed abruptly. She asked, "Is what you said true? My son has become a vegetable." She held her phone in a daze, as if she had been immobilized. The others also understood that Qiao Fei had actually become a vegetable. This was absolutely explosive news. Many people were not used to Madame Chiao's actions and were already secretly cheering. "Serves you right. Who asked you to be so arrogant? I am #1 in the world. Now you should be crying." "No, you won't even have the chance to cry." Madame Chiao did not cry. Instead, her little universe erupted, and like a loudspeaker, she loudly roared, "I will kill you and avenge my son." Then, she rushed towards Fang Shishir. Tang Jing stood in front of Fang Shishir and pulled her to the side. In the end, she fell to the ground in a sorry state. However, she immediately crawled up and rushed forward like a madwoman. Her face was malevolent like an evil spirit. "You police are just going to watch her commit a crime in broad daylight?" Lu Qingmei asked. Deng Maokai also finally reacted. He was truly confused by Madame Chiao's actions. Seeing her crazy appearance, he knew that she had temporarily lost her wolf. Thus, he hurriedly ordered his 2 subordinates, "Why haven't you caught her yet? Catch me. You dare to catch me? Do you know who I am? With a single word, I can peel off your skin." Madame Chiao bared her fangs and brandished her claws. One of the police was not careful and was even scratched on his face. However, in the end, she was not a match for the police and was quickly restrained. Attacking the police is against the law, Lu Qingmei lightly said. Deng Maokai was shocked. Lu Qingmei was finally angry. This was the rhythm of dealing with Madame Chiao. However, both sides were not good people. He could only impartially enforce the law so that he would not be criticized. Moreover, Tang Jing still had something on him. Even if he did not give Lu Qingmei face, he could not help but have misgivings about Tang Jing. Take her away. This is a school, not a vegetable market. Making a ruckus here is not appropriate, Deng Maokai sternly said. Looking at Madame Chiao's shrewish appearance, he instantly understood that Madame Chiao and Lu Qingmei were not on the same level. From beginning to end, Lu Qingmei was like a phoenix high up in the sky while Madame Chiao was like a chirping sparrow even though she was making a lot of noise. What are you doing? Let me go. I want to take revenge for my son, Madame Chiao shouted. Seeing this, the principal said, Officer, this is a misunderstanding. Can you first let her go? After all, Madame Chiao's identity was special. If the police were to take her away like this, he would not be able to report back. Deng Maokai did not buy this as he impartially said, let her go. If she injures someone, will you take responsibility? Moreover, she attacked a police officer so she must be taken away. Let's go back to the police station. Why don't you take away the culprit who harmed my son? Take away that little slut. I want her to live a life worse than death. Madame Chiao was still hysterically shouting. Deng Maotsai's face became more and more ugly. How could this person be so blind? Then we will go back first, Deng Maokai respectfully said to Lu Qingmei. Although he tried his best to restrain himself, anyone with a discerning eye could see that he was in awe of Lu Qingmei. With the ruckus here, there were already many students and teachers gathered at the door and windows. Many of them were looking at Lu Qingmei with complicated gazes. Everyone did not have much understanding of Lu Qingmei. They only knew that she was cold and arrogant. It was as if she did not want to interact with others. There was a feeling of being thousands of miles away from her. No one had ever thought that she had an outstanding identity. But from Deng Maotsai's reaction today, it seemed that her background was very big. Among the crowd, one of the people with the most complicated feelings was Wu Zuihong. This farce could be attributed to her pushing the boat with the current as she wanted to embarrass Lu Qingmei. Seeing Madame Chiao act so arrogantly, she was extremely happy and thought to herself, let the storm come even fiercer. But the final development caused her to be taken aback. The police that Madame Chiao called did not help her. Instead, they took her away. This world was too crazy. She could not understand it at all. In the end, when she saw Deng Maotsai's attitude towards Lu Qingmei, she finally understood why the police's attitude was so strange. It was all because of Lu Qingmei. Who is she? Why does she have so much power? The fear in Wu Zuihong's heart gradually spread. Her conflict with Lu Qingmei was not just a day or two. Moreover, it was an open secret. She originally thought that by relying on her position as the grade leader, she could suppress Lu Qingmei. She never thought that her background would be so big. This is bad. What if she takes revenge on me? Wu Zuihong's heart was in turmoil. Her face instantly became pale. She was in a daze as she squeezed out of the crowd. The farce that she pushed the boat with the current had turned out like this. This was not the result that she wanted. Another person with mixed feelings was Takashi. He had been silently paying attention to the development of the situation. When he heard that Xiao Fei was injured yesterday, he immediately guessed that this matter was related to Fang Shishir. This was because he was the only one who knew about Xiao Fei's actions yesterday. If Fang Shishir was not enough to harm Xiao Fei, then there was only one other person, Tang Zheng. He wished that he could immediately rush up and say that Tang Zheng was the murderer. However, in front of the entire class, he did not dare to do so. Otherwise, he would definitely become a public enemy and there would be no way for him to stay in Class 7. The development of the situation far exceeded his expectations. Xiao Fei actually became a vegetable. This really gave him a big fright. He could not help but secretly look at Tang Zheng. He discovered that his expression was normal as if he did not know about this matter. However, Takashi was very clear that this matter was definitely done by him. He actually turned Xiao Fei into a vegetable. Takashi's heart went cold. Fear spontaneously rose in his heart. It was as if a fierce tiger was staring at him and could at any time open its bloody mouth and swallow him whole. No, I can't just sit here and wait for death. My conflict with Tang Zheng cannot be resolved. Now that Xiao Fei is done for, the next moment it will be my turn. I have to do something. Right, if I tell Madame Qiao the truth, then she will definitely not let Tang Zheng go. Even if there is no evidence, they will still use other methods to get revenge for Xiao Fei. Takashi's eyes lit up as if he had grabbed onto a life-saving straw. The corner of his mouth revealed a faint evil smile. The farce ended and the audience dispersed. Tang Zheng and Fang Shishir were called downstairs by Lu Qingmei. Lu Qingmei stared at the two. Tang Zheng was calm as if nothing had happened. Fang Shishir was beautiful and pretended to be calm. However, the trace of strangeness between her eyebrows did not escape Lu Qingmei's eyes. This matter definitely has something to do with them, she concluded in her heart. However, the matter of Xiao Fei becoming a vegetable still shocked her. This method was not ordinary. Her gaze fell on Tang Zheng's body. It was as sharp as a knife, as if she wanted to cut him open and see him clearly. Tang Zheng was calm and collected. Under this knife-like gaze, his calmness was somewhat strange. This matter has something to do with you guys? Lu Qingmei finally asked. Fang Shishir's heart trembled as she subconsciously tightened her grip on Tang Zheng's hand. Tang Zheng blankly raised his head and looked at Lu Qingmei, saying, "Teacher Lu, this kind of joke cannot be made." Then you mean it has nothing to do with you guys? Of course it has nothing to do with us. We are students, how could we do this kind of thing? Tang Zheng discovered that he really did have a talent for lying. His face was not red, his heart was not beating fast, and even his breathing did not change in the slightest. Currently, his control over his body was very strong. As long as he did not want to reveal any flaws, it would be very difficult for others to discover. Lu Qingmei discovered that she had to re-evaluate Tang Zheng. She had already guessed that he was deliberately hiding his strength during the exam. However, this was not what surprised her the most. Tang Zheng's performance today was what surprised her the most. After doing so many things, he was still able to remain calm and composed. She could not help but think of the incident at the police station. Could it be that he was also acting at that time? Chapter 66. Then you guys better remember what you just said and say the same to other people. Lu Qingmei warned. Tang Zheng nodded, of course. Tang Zheng couldn't help but sigh that Lu Qingmei was indeed more formidable than he had imagined. She had already seen through the clues, but she was clearly biased towards him, which was a good thing. However, being together with such a shrewd woman, Tang Zheng was worried that she would discover more of his secrets, so he said, "Teacher Lu, can I not make up lessons in the future? I feel that I can study by myself." No. Lu Qingmei unhesitatingly objected. She had developed an interest in Tang Zhang and wanted to slowly unravel his secrets before completely exposing Tang Zhang's secrets in front of her. She would very much enjoy this feeling of accomplishment. Tang Zhang saw that the situation wasn't good and wanted to escape, so how could she let him succeed? Their eyes met and Lu Qingmei's gaze was firm. Tang Zhang compromised and scratched his head. If he knew this would happen, he wouldn't have agreed to make up lessons. Now he had picked up a rock and smashed it on his own feet. It seems like I can only be more careful in the future and hide deeper. Teacher Lu, can we stop for a bit tonight? I'm bringing Tang Zhang home for dinner. Fang Shishir suddenly asked. Tonight? Lu Qingmei looked deeply at the two and said, Fine, I'll make an exception this time. Finished speaking, she walked away. Why are you inviting me to your home so quickly? Tang Zhang curiously asked. Are you not happy? Tang Zhang squeezed out a smile. Of course I'm happy. Don't be unhappy. You're going to my home and not a tiger's den. Moreover, look at Xiao Fei's mom today. She definitely won't let this go. This matter needs to be handled by my dad, so you have to perform well tonight. I'm so outstanding. If I act as myself, I'll definitely win his approval. Tang Zhang bragged. Shameless. My dad's requirements are very strict. Moreover, he's very strict, so don't be scared when the time comes. Don't worry, I'm very brave. Tang Zhang patted his chest and said. I know you have a lot of guts, you are Tang Daring. Let me tell you, when I heard that Xiao Fei was in a vegetative state, I was scared out of my wits. Why were you so heavy-handed last night? Fang Shishir said with lingering fear. Tang Zhang coldly snorted and said, letting him become a vegetable is letting him off easy. After what he did to you, I really want to kill him. Alright, don't be angry. Maybe this is karma. Now that he's in a vegetative state, he won't be able to harm anyone in the future. However, you must remember not to tell anyone about this. Otherwise, it will be troublesome. Of course I know. Tonight, watch my eyes and act according to the situation. You must perform well in front of my father, Fang Shishir instructed. When class started, the two of them returned to the classroom. The commotion had gradually subsided. Many people looked at Fang Shishir with eyes full of affection. At that time, when Madame Chiao wanted to take away a classmate, Fang Shishir bravely stood up. This action undoubtedly won the goodwill of the people of Class 7. Fang Shishir quickly integrated into the group, even faster than Tang Zhang. A small piece of paper quietly appeared in front of Tang Zhang. Did you do this? For simple words, but Tang Zhang understood what it meant. He turned his head to look at the owner of the paper. Yi Dingdang stared straight at him. Tang Zhang returned the paper without giving a yes or no answer. However, in Yi Dingdang's eyes, the answer was already very obvious. Yi Dingdang was a martial artist. She had personally seen Tang Zhang face off against an assassin. That kind of decisiveness and fierceness was not something that a normal person could imagine. Thus, she believed that Tang Zhang was capable of doing such a thing. However, she believed that Tang Zhang was not a violent person. There must be a reason for this. Why? Another piece of paper appeared in front of Tang Zhang's eyes. He stared straight at these three words, his teeth involuntarily clenched. Of course there was a reason, but this reason could not be told to outsiders. This matter was related to Fang Shishir's reputation, so he once again pushed the paper back. Yi Dingdang wrinkled her eyebrows and coldly snorted, expressing her dissatisfaction. Tang Zhang turned a deaf ear to her words. His eyes were fixed on the blackboard as he listened to the teacher's lecture. Yi Dingdang unwillingly looked at him and then looked at Fang Shishir. She thought, Fang Shishir suddenly changing classes must have something to do with this matter. Just what did Xiao Fei do to make Tang Jing so angry? Her gossipy heart burned, but she was unable to think of a reason. After all, a normal person would not be able to imagine that Xiao Fei would do such a shameless and bold action. This time, the storm spread through the forum at the fastest speed and throughout the school. After all, it was too big of a commotion, and the people involved were too eye-catching. Tang Zheng and Fang Shishir had undoubtedly become the focus of discussion. Many people began to envy Tang Jing because he was too lucky to have Fang Shishir change classes for him. This special honor made many people cry out that the heavens were unfair. Why did they not have such a good thing? In addition, there were people who pointed out that Class 7 had two campus beauties. One was Tang Zheng's official girlfriend, and the other was his rumored girlfriend. This seemed like there was going to be a good show to watch. It was easy to start a war between women, especially beautiful women. Moreover, there was a man between them, so this war was bound to break out. The good fortune of having multiple lovers was not so easy to enjoy. Many people harbored evil intentions and cursed in their hearts, waiting to watch a good show. The person involved did not care about other people's thoughts. This was because Tang Jing had already sat in the Fang family's car, preparing to attend the banquet. Was this a Hongmen banquet? Tang Jing did not know. In any case, even if it was not a Hongmen banquet, this banquet would not be easy. However, his mentality was very good, and he was not worried. He did not bring a gift because he was once again a pauper. He did not have the money to buy a gift. If he bought a worthless gift, then he would be laughed at by the other party. Therefore, he brought her along to the banquet like a hoodlum. You don't have to feel burdened. You have me. Fang Shishir tightly held his hand and comforted him. I don't have any burdens. Tang Jing casually said. Fang Shishir seriously looked at him and found that he was not lying. She could not help but tap his forehead and said, It seems like I was worried for nothing. Your heart is too big. This is called strategically valuing the opponent and tactically looking down on the opponent. You even raised it to a theoretical level. Glib tongue. Fang Shishir did not know whether to laugh or cry as she stared at him. When the car arrived, Fang Shishir held his hand and walked into the magnificent home. She changed her image of a good girl from before and seemed to want to use this method to declare her determination. Perhaps this was a counterattack to her mother's decision. When Shi Mengqin saw the two's intimate appearance, her originally unsightly expression dropped to the freezing point and she almost went berserk. Fang Shishir acted as if she did not see her expression. She walked with Tang Jing in front of her parents and naturally said, Dad, Mom, this is Tang Jing. Hello Uncle and Auntie. Tang Jing courteously greeted. Shi Mengqin coldly snorted, not even giving him a friendly look. Fang Shishir unhappily pouted and then looked at her father. Fang Chonghua calmly nodded his head and said, Little Tang is here. Quickly sit down and rest. Fang Shishir was somewhat happy. Her father was indeed much better than her mother. She gave her father a sweet smile and pulled Tang Jing to sit down. Little Tang, how are your studies in school? Fang Chonghua amiably asked like an elder. Not bad. Tang Jing replied. Fang Chonghua smiled but did not say anything. He did not continue to ask this question. Little Tang, who else is in your family? My family only has me and grandfather. Fang Chonghua's smile increased by several degrees. Little Tang, what plans do you have for the future? For now I don't have any. The smile on Fang Chonghua's face was already very thick and he did not ask any more questions. Little brat, this person is very cunning. Tian Chanzi suddenly said. Tang Zheng was slightly startled and said, Why do you say that? Did you not hear the hidden meaning behind his three questions? Tang Zheng's heart moved. These three seemingly simple questions actually contained a deeper meaning. The first question was about his studies. Tang Zheng was ranked last in the entire school. This was something that Shi Mengqin must have already investigated. Fang Chongguo clearly knew the answer to this question. This was because he wanted to embarrass Tang Zheng. The second question was about his family. Tang Zheng's family was poor, and the difference between his family and the Fang family was like heaven and earth. This was another blow. The third question was about his plans for the future. Tang Zheng honestly said that he only wanted to deal with the high school exam and quickly increase his cultivation. As for other things, he really did not consider them. The three questions advanced layer by layer. In reality, it was related to a person's soft and hard power. In the eyes of outsiders, Tang Zheng did not have any strength, so when faced with these three questions, they would feel ashamed of their inferiority and retreat. However, what Fang Chongguo did not know was that Tang Zheng was a cultivator. These three important questions were not worth mentioning to him. He was not ashamed of his inferiority because of these three questions, so he did not realize Fang Chongguo's intentions. But Heaven Monk was old and experienced. He saw through Fang Chongguo's thoughts with a single glance. Tang Zheng originally had a good impression of Fang Chongguo, but after hearing Tian Chanzi's words, he understood that Fang Chongguo was much harder to deal with than Shi Mengqin. Shi Mengqin's dissatisfaction was expressed on her face, but Fang Chongguo did not show any expression. A smiling tiger. Fang Chongguo was a smiling tiger. Tang Zheng could not help but feel a burst of helplessness. This really was a feast at Hongmen. Fang Shishir did not think that her father's questions would have such a deep meaning. She saw the smile on her father's face become wider and wider. Moreover, Tang Zheng's behavior was polite and neither servile nor overbearing. She felt that this matter was settled. If I knew that father was so easy to talk to, I would have brought Tang Zheng home earlier. After that, Fang Chongguo did not ask any more questions. Instead, he passionately urged Tang Zheng to eat more. If not for the fact that Tang Zheng already understood his intentions, he would have been deceived by his enthusiasm. After the meal, Fang Shishir passionately brought Tang Zheng to tour her home. She was like a little angel. At this moment, she felt that happiness was so close that it was at her fingertips. Chapter 67. After Tang Zheng left, Fang Shishir contentedly returned to her room to sleep. But in the other room, Shi Mengqin angrily looked at her husband and asked, "What's wrong with you today? Why are you talking and laughing with that little brat? Didn't we agree that we would make him back off?" Fang Chongguo shook his head and bitterly smiled. "If I were like you and gave him a cold face, what do you think our daughter would think? This can only push our daughter to him, which is not a wise move. Just wait and see." Although that brat is calm and collected as if nothing has happened, his heart must have undergone an earth-shattering change. He must have realized the difference between him and Shishir. Just realizing is not enough. This kind of person is just a toad wanting to eat swan meat. Our family Shishir is so outstanding, even if he is thick-skinned he will not let her go. Shi Mengqin said worriedly. Of course I still have a backup plan. I am already contacting a foreign university. After Shishir's high school exams, I will send her abroad. At that time, the two of them will naturally end up separated. Shi Mengqin's eyes lit up as she said, "This is a good idea. Why didn't I think of this idea? You only thought of using violence to stop him, how could you not use your brain? Alright, in our family you are the smart one. Since you are smart, then what exactly happened at school today?" Shi Mengqin suddenly wrinkled her eyebrows. Fang Chongguo's face sank as he said, "Just now Shishir already told me what happened at school. This is purely the Qiao family's crazy people. Hang, they dare to slander my daughter. I will not let them off so easily." Right, slandering Shishir in front of so many people. Their family's chow fei is a golden lump, but is our family's shir not a treasure? We must get an explanation. You do not need to worry about this matter. In this period of time, you just need to take care of shir. But do not be too hasty, otherwise it will cause her to retaliate. Shir, this little brat looks weak, but in reality she has her own opinions. Moreover, she is also a little stubborn. Following her will result in unexpected results. Fong Chongguo warned. The Chow family was brightly lit. Madame Chow had already returned home, so Deng Maokai naturally did not dare to do anything to her. In the end, he carefully sent her home. However, she was so angry that she couldn't take it out on Deng Maokai. Another piece of news made her even angrier. A student told her a piece of news that made her flabbergasted. Last night, Chow Fei actually wanted to make a move on the pretty girl who had just transferred to another class. This piece of information was too crucial. Originally, she had only thought that this matter was related to Fong Shir. After all, there was no direct evidence. But this news was indirect evidence. She knew her son's style very well, but she didn't think that this was a bad thing. It wasn't a bad thing for a boy to be romantic. Moreover, Chow Fei had the capital to be romantic. She even thought that it was a girl's fortune to be liked by Chow Fei. However, this girl's background was not simple. She was actually the daughter of the Fong clan. The Fong clan and the Chow clan's strength were on par. If this matter were to be made public, the two clans would definitely become sworn enemies. That student also provided an important piece of information. The boy by Fong Shir's side was her boyfriend. Moreover, he was skilled. Chow Fei definitely suffered under his hands. Madame Chow could almost imagine the scene at that time. Chow Fei's actions were somehow discovered by Tang Jing, and then Chow Fei was beaten into this state. Son, I definitely won't let the murderer get away with it. I can't do anything to that little hussy, but can't I deal with a poor student with no background? I want this poor student to disappear from this world. What's the use of you being able to fight? A single bullet is enough to get rid of you. Spending money to buy a life was not a difficult matter for the rich. There were too many fugitives who would do such a thing as long as you could afford it. Of course, the Chow clan could afford it, no matter how much it was. In the next 2 days, Tang Zheng's life was very simple. During the day, he attended classes, and during the night, he carefully dealt with Lu Qingmei, not letting her discover any more secrets. But the more he was like this, the more curious Lu Qingmei became. But she was not impatient, and prepared to slowly break through Tang Zheng's city. Tonight, he asked for leave again. Because 5 days had already passed, he had to think of a way to pay for his school fees. 100,000 yuan was not a small amount. He could not practice martial arts, nor could he gamble, so he could only use other methods. Although he had a lot of skills, he could not exchange them for money. But after thinking about it, he still found a way to earn money. Selling medicine. Yes, he wanted to sell the life-continuing pill. The life-continuing pill was incomparably precious, but in Tang Zheng's eyes, he did not need it for the time being. It was useless, so why not use it? But the life-continuing pill was too mysterious. Would other people believe it? He did not have 100% confidence. Desperate times call for desperate measures. In this world, there are many rich people who are afraid of death. There will always be people who are willing to give it a try. As night fell, Tang Jing wore a large hat and covered himself up tightly as he sat near the entrance of the hospital. In front of him was a piece of paper with 3 large words written on it: life-continuing pill, 200,000. 200,000 yuan to buy 10 years of life. It was a profit for the other party, but Tang Jing did not dare to ask for too high a price. He was afraid that he would scare away the customers. But when he sat on a small stool with this piece of paper in front of him, he still attracted many strange gazes. Life continuing pill. F***ck, these Jianghu scammers don't even have a draft when bragging. Someone mocked. Tang Zhang's expression did not change. His eyes were slightly closed, as if he did not hear anything. He muttered to himself, giving off the feeling of a Jianghu scammer. 200,000 yuan. Why don't you go rob a bank? No need to look, this is definitely a scam. The crowd discussed animatedly. Not long after, they dispersed. Afterwards, several people came over to take a look. Then they all shook their heads and walked away. A middle-aged man who was also sitting on a small stool with bottles and jars in front of him finally could not bear to watch any longer. He reminded, "Brother, you won't be able to cheat money like this. Although there are many patients in front of the hospital and there are ample resources, but after all, people nowadays are not idiots. You see, I sold a lot of the medicine for STD and syphilis because it is trustworthy. This life-continuing pill, TSK, is too unreliable. You are bragging too much. It seems like you are still not skilled enough. Maybe your master did not pass down his true skills to you." Tang Zhang looked at him and did not comment. He was not a Jianghu scammer. You are the real Jianghu scammer. Brother, I advise you not to set it up today. Come back tomorrow with a different set of clothes. Even if you want to cheat, this is not the way to do it. That person earnestly advised. Those who are willing will take the bait. Tang Zheng lightly said. F***ck, everyone is not an idiot. Moreover, even an idiot would not believe this. That person did not know whether to laugh or cry. He shook his head and thought that this brother must have gone crazy thinking about money. Just as he finished speaking, a pair of feet appeared in front of Tang Zheng. This pair of feet was wearing black stockings. The feet were very slender and well-proportioned. A pair of beautiful feet. Life-continuing pill, can it really continue one's life? A charming voice asked. Just listening to this voice would make one's bones go soft. The scammer swallowed a mouthful of saliva. In his heart, he thought that there really was an idiot who took the bait. He hurriedly raised his head to look and saw a charming young woman staring straight at the three words, life-continuing pill. Beauty. Top-grade beauty young woman. Not only was this young woman beautiful, but her entire body emitted a mature charm that made people's hearts beat faster. The scammer could not help but stare at her in a daze. The beauty did not pay attention to the scammer's gaze. Instead, she continued to stare at the three words as if the three words had a magical power. Tang Zheng said that this woman was really beautiful. He had seen several beautiful women before, but compared to them, they all had their own merits. Life-continuing pill, of course it can continue one's life. Tang Zhang's reply was resolute and decisive. Suddenly, she shook her head and bitterly smiled. Her eyes were filled with unconcealable loneliness and pain. She muttered to herself, I actually believed in this kind of Jianghu scam. I really am an idiot. This is not a Jianghu scam. This is a genuine life-continuing pill. Tang Zheng corrected her. Her gaze finally fell on Tang Zheng. He was wrapped up tightly and was even more of a Jianghu scammer than a Jianghu scammer. The life-continuing pill was too precious. Tang Zheng understood the principle of treasuring a jade ring becomes a crime. This time he urgently needed money, but he did not want to reveal his identity and cause unnecessary trouble. She was originally prepared to leave, but when she heard Tang Zheng's words, she stopped. A voice in her heart shouted, You have already tried so many methods, why don't you try one more? But this is clearly a Jianghu scam. How could there be a life-continuing pill in this world? Another voice argued. What if? If this is true, then it can save Nana's life. Thinking of Nana, her heart felt like it was being ruthlessly cut by a knife. It was a heart-wrenching pain. For Nana's sake, I will try one more time. Holding on to this hope, she squatted down. Tang Zhang's eyes lit up. The people in front of him had all left after ridiculing him, but only she had asked so many questions. Moreover, from her words, it was clear that she urgently needed the life-continuing pill. Business is here. Seeing her squat down, Tang Zhang was certain that the other party had the intention of buying. Tang Zhang had finally found someone willing to take the bait, so of course he would not let her go. Your life-continuing pill costs 200,000? She asked. Yes, not a single cent less. What if you are a scammer? I already said that I am not a scammer. Would a scammer call himself a scammer? Moreover, this is the first time we have met, so how could I completely trust you? Then this business can't be done. Tang Zhang understood the principle of loosening the reins only to grasp them better, so he instinctively refused, do as you wish. Seeing Tang Zhang so calm, she could not help but secretly laugh. Are all scammers this confident these days? I only have $20,000 on me. If you are not a scammer, then I will pay you the other $180,000. She said. This. Tang Zhang had originally planned on doing a one-time deal, but the other party unexpectedly did not have enough money. The real scammer on the side stared with wide eyes. Fuck, this can also be scammed, and it was even $20,000. Are people this easy to scam these days? You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.